It's your boy Triple Black. I finally got this thing figured out, I hope. But I don't even know. But anyways, man, holla at your boy. I'm gonna try to get Soul in here. I'm gonna call him on the phone. I don't know how. I don't even know who you got in the chat room, but if you got anybody in the chat room, man, say what's up, you boy. We back in the building. They trying to hold us back, but we can't be held back. You feel me? Anyways, man, holla at your boy. Let me call Soul, man. I don't even know what's going on with this. This thing is so damn hard to figure out, boy. I don't got anybody in the chat room, but we're live right now, and this is just a Google Hangout where all my Caribbean folks at. No Cupcake Zone podcast. You already know what it is, man. Hey, in your grill in your baby mama's house, you already know what it is. You feel me? Trying to get this whole technology thing. My my camera is kind of janky, so I decided to go with the Google Hangout route. Um, so I'm kind of looking to see how. This is the first time I've ever done it this way. I can invite people to the chat. If you want to, call in or just chat, just let me know, man. Let me know. Let me know, man. This is welcome to everybody. This is no Cupcake Zone. I didn't put it. I didn't. I was trying to figure everything out, so I didn't get a chance to put a title on it. But I got. I hope to get Soul Traveler up in here, man, so we can talk. We've been chopping it up, so we can, get on these ADOS people. I already know what it is. Some, these be they be talking a lot of mess out here. Get on these ADOS people. I already know what it is. So, got 3 people watching. A lot of mess out here. Yeah. But anyways, man, if you guys are in the chat, man, just hit just hit the thumbs up button. Oh, you here, man? Hey, I sent you I don't even know. I sent you an invite. I'm trying to figure out this chat thing. Um, oh man, this shit is crazy, bro. I sent you an invite, and if I guess you may have to click on your you probably, I think what it is you gotta turn on Google Hangout. I don't know if you have Google Hangout on your phone, but I sent the hangout. I mean, I sent you an invite. I'll get this figured out somehow, some way. But the Google Hangout information should be on here. Because I'm looking at the chat, and Hey, let me see how I can. Hey, excuse me for the technical difficulties. This is the first time I've ever done this way. Usually, I've done it another way, and I was able to invite because I have a. It says a chat room right here, but there's nobody in the chat. Like nobody in the chat. But so if you can just turn on your Google Hangout. Oh, you got the link. Okay, great. Go. Everything's a go now. So if you got the link, you should be able to get on. I still can't see the chat, so um you hear that feedback. There's 4 people watching now. I think you can just click on this link that I just put on there if you want to join in. Well, the chat is open up to anybody, man. No, we're just gonna chop it up this Sunday. This is the first time I'm doing a live stream like this, so I'm waiting for the download hangout for waiting for me to hang out. Okay. But I just sent the link in there. There's a link right there. That should be uh the hangout link right there. If you click on that, it'll take you right onto it, man. But anyways, man, I'm gonna start talking, man. I've got a couple people in the chat room, a couple people watching right now. Shout out to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit the thumbs up button, man. You know, especially from our Caribbean folk, man. Hit the chat room, man. You know what I'm saying? Say what's up. You know, I know there's a lot of shows going on right now, but this one, there's no one quite like this one. You know, we keep it 100. We keep it trio. You know what I'm saying? However you want to call it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? For my Caribbean folk, my black folk, everybody, man. We in the building right now, man. But we were talking. The subject I want to talk about, man. This ADOS thing is just getting tired. I don't want to talk about it no more. Uh, but one thing that I saw earlier today that I was watching, I thought it was a trip, was Brother Polite. Brother Polite and what's his face? He was on Sinetta's show. Uh, I don't know. Him and Minister Jap was going at it, man, and that I mean, to me was hilarious. First of all, they were talking stuff that was way over my head. They were talking that black consciousness shit, which I'm a little bit a part of, but sometimes Brother Polite tripped me out, man. This guy said something about the ninth chromosome, you know what I'm saying, that you get the ninth chromosome dictates what your personality is, and you get that from your mother. And he would start saying some some shit like, when you in the fetus, you feed off of the umbilical juice, and this is how you get nurtured. Because he was the argument was that black women are God, and that he compares them to God. And Minister Jap was saying, saying that's bullshit. And I guess that his whole stick, I don't really listen to Minister Jap too much, but I think his whole stick is, he really goes in on black women and bashes them pretty hard. So they were having a little spat about that. You in the building, man?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Yeah, I think you're in the building, man. Hey, man, dog, this thing was goddamn hard to figure out, man. Maybe we got Soul Traveler in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? We
What up? What up?
podcast, but you know what I'm saying? We might as well bring the pain real loud right to the people right now, man. So what's up, man? What's going on, bro?
Ain't nothing, family. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm good. How about you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. We got 5 people in the listening live, man. I don't even know who the participants are, but you know what I'm saying? We in the building. Holla at your boy. Drop a line if you know what I'm saying. You don't got to be embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I know we ain't ADOS, but you know what I'm saying. You can get with you can get with the kid. Come on, man. Anyways, man, I was talking about what the funniest thing was. The Minister Jap and Brother Polite going at it, on Sinetta's show, and how Brother Polite, boy, if you listen to him too much, man, that nigga right there will get your ass thinking. Like, he'll get your money, man. He'll grease your pockets real easy, bro.
Yeah. He's a finesser, man. He is definitely a finesser.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's the thing. People got to know. They got to understand when you're being finessed, because there's different levels and games of being finessed. You
Yeah.
know, I could Google some Black history information, or and pack it up in DVDs and sell it to you. That's a form of finessing. You know,
Right.
or there's many levels to it. Or I could just sell you a whole bunch of grass and tell you that's going to make you better if you got cancer. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, what do you think about this whole finessing of the lack of finessing of Bernie Sanders, man? And a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they got their nuts crossed, you know what I'm saying, they draws real tight in their ass about Bernie Sanders, which to me, I don't really get this shit, man. I understand about this reparations. First of all, hey, these people getting reparations twisted. Reparations is about repairing the damage and shit like that. They're trying to get a white man, a lily white man. You know what I'm saying? He might have, marched with Dr. King. That's more than a lot of you fuck niggas done did in your goddamn whole life. A lot of you people won't even go to jail and then sit in and shit like that. But that's a lot of shit that you know what I'm saying? Yo, but anyways, man, they're trying to get him to be a black man, to be the next Malcolm X, thinking that he is going to be our fucking savior, man. What type of bullshit is that, bro?
they're trying to sun him like they tried to sun the black immigrants. This
Okay.
is ADOS. They on the Sun and movement. And that's just basically it. They want him to commit political suicide. Because that's basically what's gonna happen. I
Right.
mean, the system didn't turn fair after black people weren't slaves anymore. So I don't know what it's wishful thinking at is the good, kind-hearted white folks are now going to write me a check. So but Bernie's up on game. They consistently attack him of accepting reparations as a Jewish person, but he's against it for black folks. But here's the thing: it is his, just like ADOS' job is to look out for African Americans. It's his job to look out for Jewish people, no matter if he's in the wrong or right.
Dog, I thought it was tangible as 2020. One of the things that people got on Barack Obama about was the symbolism. So you want this white man to go ahead and what I'm saying, and be Malcolm X, lose the elections just so you can say that Bernie fought for you. So
we one step closer.
We one step closer. Is that what it is?
You know what? That's what it has to be because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's just wishful thinking people, sitting at home, using their calculator app on their phone, trying to count up how many black folks and how much they check gonna be.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Belize and Bang, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Bro?
What's up, man? Oh, Tariq blames Caribbean for AIDS. Yeah, you remember he tried to do a show, and then all of a sudden he was talking about white zaddy or some shit. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about white zaddy, and he stuck his toe in the thing. He was talking about how like Caribbeans and Africans were bringing AIDS into the United States or some shit like that.
Yeah, we bringing black aid. I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? That's what we bringing in, and some goddamn common sense.
Hey man, you welcome. Anybody's welcome to join this channel. I mean, even if you're ADOS, hey, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're ADOS, we gonna burn a hole in your motherfucking chest tonight,
I got a question for you. I got a question for you. Is Jesse Lee's Peterson's son invited?
Yeah, he's was it Family First or First Community or some shit, man?
Community First.
Oh my goodness, man, get that dude on here, man. I'd like to chop it up with him to see what his thought process is, man. Man, he be on some bullshit, man. Ain't nobody listening to your, mush mouth ass. Ain't nobody listening to your bitch ass. But anyways, man, shout out to the people, man. Shout out to the Caribbean folks, man. Shout out to all the Africans, man. You know what I'm saying? I know people, the ADOS people don't drop you off at the bus stop and waiting for somebody to pick you up, man. Listen, hey, we all got cars now. We drive ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna drop us off anywhere. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you're gonna be asking for a ride in about a couple months. You know what I'm saying? When your fucking mouth is on the floor, be like, oh shit. Oh, Trump is back again. And Trump, dog, how the hell, dog, I thought about this. The only freaking solution that will make anybody happy, especially in the black community, is we have to have a third party. We have to have our own party. You have to. Because when have you been able to rely on black people?
KFC, Popeyes, McDonald's. So yeah, I mean, fast food businesses have relied on black folks, but for anything of substance, no, never. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, weave as well too, but on anything of substance, no, black people are in. You cannot depend on them because niggas is just fucked up, man. To say it plain is simple and plain. Black folks are fucked up.
Is that what it is, man? I mean, I'm really, really not understanding, you know what I'm saying, this whole mentality. I don't really get it, man. I'm hoping, you know, without being too emotional, if somebody can come on here, especially about the ADOS movement, and especially the videos, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of, you know, heat. I got a lot of hate for a lot of people that were talking about, you know what I'm saying, like throwing little comments, but you know, some of the points that I was making up, and we'll go over some of those points. And I want somebody to come on here and discredit your boy. Hey,
Right.
We got Belizean Bang in here, man, but I think his mic is, I don't know if his mic is on. I think you got to unmute yourself, homie.
Yeah. What do you want?
Oh, you okay, man? What's up, man? What's going on, man?
Up, brother? How you doing, man?
That's right, brother. I'm good, man. What y'all talking about?
Hey, man, we're just talking about, you know, we just this is the first time I've done this this live stream with another person on here. We just chopping up. We don't got no topic, man, but I was talking about Bernie Sanders. Man, what's your opinion on Bernie Sanders, man? How I feel like these people are trying to get they're trying to get it. They're trying to get him to go into a burning building.
That's about to die and shit. Yeah, nigga about 100 years old. As soon as he get in there, he gonna have a stroke.
Hey, let me ask you this question, man. Do you think it's realistic that black folk think that he should run on their issues and he just should wear their issues on his neck?
You talking about Bernie, right?
Yes.
Oh no, I still gotta see. You know, I don't know too much about that. Can't really speak. You know what I mean? But
right.
As far as a white man, he's just a white man, just like any other white man. Congo ass.
Exactly, man.
Reparations, will give you a whole gang of oxtails.
Yeah, man. Hey, so what do you think about this ADOS movement, man? Just be blood raw, man. This is a safe zone right here, man. Anybody, anybody from the ADOS, I got a problem. What we say, you can get it too, homie.
Feelings are guaranteed to get hurt.
But some of them trolls that's coming to our pages talking shit with no profile picture and shit. So like I've been laying off the ADOS shit.
Yeah.
That shit is kind of losing steam. You think about it.
Yeah, that's the second time I heard that today.
Yeah, but hey, there's a whole bunch of questions that I have, you know what I'm saying, especially from ADOS people. The first question, you got the two people that's heading this movement, right? You got a light-skinned lesbian, and then you have a former person that worked for the DEA office. I mean, the DA office in California, one of the worst criminal justice systems in America. How the hell are these two people the representatives of this movement?
Someone from a police state. A police state. I mean, California is a freaking police state, and he used to lock brothers up. Now he created a reparations movement for you? Man. It seems like a joke, man.
Like I said to somebody earlier, I think it was that CRU dude, or because I was on another panel, and I said, if you guys can fight for what you want, Caribbeans been doing that shit for years, but white man ain't trying to give up shit.
Right.
I told them, like, when ADOS falls on this, because we have Capricorn, and they failed to get us reparations for the Caribbean. So it's gonna be hard to get reparations out of the white man. I'm sorry.
Hey, first of all, hold on. This guy in the chat room right here say y'all immigrants. Me and Soul, we were born in America, homeboy. So get that right. We're U.S. citizens. So fix that, cuz.
My passport is blue, and it says United States of America.
You saying we straight up disrespectful? We straight up disrespectful. How the hell you say we straight up disrespectful when you guys came out swinging, dog, shitting on our parents, shitting on our ancestors, say like we co-opted, you know what I'm saying? We leached off, we did all this type of stuff. That's straight disrespectful.
But we've been embedded in their history. In their history, we the one that founded USA from what I heard, Jamaicans were here before African Americans in their own country, so called.
Hey, you know what? If the moment when we will admit to piggybacking off of you guys, the moment that you admit to benefiting off of colonialism and freaking imperialism. You say, hey, you know those like you guys love to talk about those tax dollars that you've been getting or paying for. That's that's allowed us to come over here. Whose resources were they raping to get those damn resources and tax dollars? Huh? Who was getting their hands cut off and stuff like that? Huh? Who was in the diamond mines and all that stuff? Huh? You don't think, hey, you know what I'm saying? In the Revolutionary War, wasn't we fighting for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Back in the 1500s, wasn't we offering you guys land? You know, all these talking points that you guys make about us not reciprocating. Hey, you have to prove it, homeboy. Hey, listen, history doesn't lie. I know you guys you're used to being lied to by your slave master, but history doesn't lie. Didn't Haiti give a whole bunch of you guys some land and you guys came back? Come on, man. Talk about it, homeboy.
3 acres apiece we gave them. 3 acres apiece and coffee just for them to be farmers in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? This is the history that they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want us to bring up the facts.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it's not that we got a problem with them asking for their money, but like I said, we have a structured group in the Caribbean that failed to get us reparations. So what you think will happen to ADOS, and they're not even a structured group? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the group was created. It has no plan. It has no legs.
Hey, shout out, man. I'm back, man. I had to talk to the wifey, who is ADOS, man. That's why she got on my damn nerves.
But that doesn't sound right. You know, I got African American children. My daughters have African American, and I would wake up and tell her, "But honey, you're a slave." What the fuck? Did my dad just tell me I'm a slave? Huh?
No, listen, bro. In order to get first of all, let's get what reparations is. Reparations is repair. You know what I'm saying? We need to repair ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Proving that you were once property, it's not repair right there. That's something that you should be ashamed of. You should not be proud of the lineage of being property or 3/5 of a human. That's a psychological thing. You got to take yourself out of that. You want to talk about, you know what? One thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about tangibles. That is a great concept, but groveling and kissing the feet and wearing all the things of your oppressor is not reparations, homeboy. It's not, man. I don't know what world these people are coming from. You know what I'm saying? Also bashing your brethren and telling a whole bunch of falsehoods and, you know what I'm saying, trying to denigrate your brethren, the person that looks like you, is not reparations, homeboy. So some of you guys from the ADOS, man, I know a lot of people are scared of you guys, man, but you guys got it all the way fucked up, man, and twisted, man. Attacking immigrants, especially when there's immigrants in sanctuary cities. There's sanctuary cities right there that has full of illegal immigrants, and you're attacking the Haitian cab driver. You're attacking the Haitian dishwasher. Get the fuck out of here, man. Y'all on some bullshit, man.
I know we folding sheets and shit.
And you talking about we taking things from you, motherfucker. How many Haitian people?
What it is?
Hey, we're around civil rights.
Jobs that African Americans don't want. The jobs that that's the jobs that they like. I told somebody this, can I get 5 African Americans to get up at 4 o'clock and go shovel shit? No, with the Mexican to do that shit.
No, but
you're breaking up, brother.
Oh, am I bad? You hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, there's a mentality. Only black people can steal jobs away from them. White people can't. Only other black immigrants can say. What type of mentality snake mentality you gotta have to be thinking like that. Only black people can steal jobs away from you. Only black people can threaten your existence. Non-American black people can threaten your existence in America. That speaks for their mentality.
Why do they think that we like my people are here to replace them or something? That humans can't be replaced after you're gone. Like doesn't make no
Yeah,
sense.
and that's another thing I want to address right there. The claim against the U.S. Okay, let me ask you this: wasn't a large part of the U.S. a French territory? Wasn't a large part of the U.S. a British territory? Just answer that question, you ADOS people. Answer that question. You know what I'm saying? All this deflection is like, oh, we don't have a claim. Was not. Oh my goodness, man! It's asinine how all of a sudden it's like that family member, dog. That you know what I'm saying, that found out that, you know what I'm saying, they're getting some goddamn cash, and now they want to just they want to act like they were never part of the family. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is you know what? That is a trait of the greedy European right there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Is all for self, just greedy, just want to take it all for them damn self. You can have that blood money, but at the same time, don't shit on my people, man. That's all I'm saying. It's like I never ever said that they, you know, Black Americans specifically here did not deserve reparations. Absolutely, you deserve every $30 trillion. You deserve this goddamn whole nation. But when you turn around and you look at my people, the Haitian people, the Belizean people, the African people, and say y'all ain't shit, I got a problem with that, man. I don't know where the fuck you guys came from, man. That is some bullshit, bro.
You know what? It, like when I be out there protesting, because I used to do this, I used to do a lot of activism, and the ones that be out there when African Americans get shot, guess who's in the crowd marching? None but immigrants and shit.
Exactly.
None but fucking immigrants. So yeah, it's only like one or two African Americans.
Because we know that same stuff can happen to us, man. It's not like, okay, if you come, I mean, you come into the nation, right? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't an immigrant. I was fortunately, I was born over here. But let's just talk to our African brothers and sisters, right? You come into a place, right, where you're constantly ostracized. You're constantly telling them you're different. You're constantly made fun of. You're constantly bullied. And then all of a sudden, the same person that's doing that says you need to assimilate. What? How do you think, like, what world do you come that you live in that you think those people are going, if you're chasing a person and beating their ass, you all of a sudden you say, you know what? Oh, now you act like you don't want to be with us. Of course, because you beating the hell out of my ass, right?
You know what's fucking, like I said, I used to be part of Black Power movements, and they'll look down upon me within the movement. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're not black.
Yes, you're not black. Yes, I've been attacked by African. We don't talk about this shit. That I've been attacked by African Americans and Latinos. So sometimes it's like, man, fuck both of y'all. That's how police see it sometimes. Like, but it's my immigrant parent that encouraged me to do things for African Americans. They don't hear it. African Americans don't hear that.
Right.
That is my parent, my foreigner parent, that's telling me go out there, help your community, clean up your community. Hell, you know, like we don't get enough credit, you know, that's due to us.
Right.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And you know what? And I'm tired of this. That, you know, people are saying like you need to move. Hey, listen, my son and my wife, you know what I'm saying? I guess they would be considered ADOS or American descendants. I'm not going to use a slave word, right? You know what? But my last name is a little bit different, and my son's last name is a little bit different. I'll be damned if I'm going to be sitting here and letting somebody ostracize my son because his last name is different. I don't give a fuck. I will die on that shit, man. That's the difference between me, a lot of motherfuckers. I'm not going to let you talk any type of way about my ancestors, my son, my family, just because you think you got a couple dollars coming your way, man. Fuck all that.
let's be honest. This black self hate just didn't pop up from out of nowhere. This is a
Yeah,
feeling that's always been around, man. Always. When I was a kid going to school in Little Haiti, Miami, man, them motherfuckers would chase after us, calling us African booty scratcher.
you know what?
Uh,
I've heard that term before. Like, man, like, or like someone like American, they tell me, go back to Belize. I'm like, go back to Belize. I'm gonna go back to somewhere that I wasn't born. Make no fucking. Go ahead, my bad, man. Go ahead.
no. But
Go
that's
ahead,
just
man.
what it that proves how this was always. It was always, you know, when you they were freed from physical slavery, but a lot of these motherfuckers were not freed from the mental slavery because it's still in their heads. I mean, they fought for integration, right? They fought for white people to treat them like humans. In their own communities, they don't even treat each other like humans. So you want the white man to treat you better than you even treat your own brother. Like that's insane.
We did
That's
that
insane.
like
You know what's insane about it, dog? So one of the talking points for these ADOS people, right? You know, they talk about like, affirmative action and all those type of things, right? How, the immigrants co-opted all this stuff, right? And co-opted all this stuff, right? But white lesbians, white women have co-opted probably like 3 times as more as any damn immigrant has. But you know what I'm saying? They don't have no smoke for them. They don't have no smoke for Ann Coulter. They don't have any smoke for these white lesbians.
white
Like,
bitch. Look,
huh?
she thinks she's slick. You know what? That
They
white
don't
bitch.
have no smoke for them.
Look, she already knew that African Americans and Caribbeans got a rough relationship, so she knew exactly what to be saying and try. Oh, I'm for you guys now. Yeah, right. That's some
Come on,
bullshit.
man. Dog, how many times I have to say this? Americans, Black Americans, descendants of the descendants or the native blacks or foundational blacks built this country. They've been through all kinds of hell. The prison industrial complex, slavery, Jim Crow, all those things. Prison, it was a crack epidemic. That is, you are owed everything that you deserve. You deserve way more than that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you deserve more than that piece of paper that has your oppressor's face on it. You deserve way more than that. You deserve for your culture to be repaired. Stop it, Frankie. You deserve that. I understand that you deserve that, but coming and trying to like step on our hands and slap us as Black immigrants in this country is not the right way. It's not the right way. First of all, you're running into like you have these entertainers they're saying all this stuff and getting you to lead, or they're leading you into a burning building. You know what I'm saying? For instance, they use the Jewish reparations. The Jewish people did not get reparations by suing the United States government, man.
They did not.
They did not do. They didn't get it that way.
But you know what?
Tell me what the difference did the Hasidic Jews and the Orthodox Jews, did they separate and you know what I'm saying, and be like, oh, the Hasidics are like, hey, you know what, we're gonna get our Holocaust reparations on our own. Did the Polish Jews do the same thing? Like, did all these segment of Jews go and get reparations and stuff like that? Or no, they didn't even get a reparation. They got a settlement. They got a settlement from France, and the United States helped them to do that. We ain't complaining about nothing, man. We're just voicing our opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you go on ADOS, you'll see all kinds of ADOS people talking about how we ain't shit. We just defending ourselves. Can we do that? I know. I know.
Like I had an argument with one yesterday, and he said,
Yeah, I know you have
how,
precious blood
how
in your thing. You know what I'm saying? Are we still free to voice our opinion, or do we need to ask Massa for permission or something?
you know what you call, like I had a conversation with one right on this Google Hangout, but on somebody else, and they said how I'm pretending to be him. It's like this. I wish that I could fill out a job application and fill what's my origin instead of selecting African American. And it's not like we want to select that.
Right.
See, that's what the ADOS don't get. There ain't no option for other people who come from other regions and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's only African American and black.
Exactly, man. Hey, man, but you know what? I truth seeker. Let's talk about a solid argument. This is not even an argument. This is just a suggestion. We're out of it. We're saying we're out of it. We non-ADOS people are out of it right now for reparations. But anyways, if you guys you get reparations, it sets a precedent. Just like in court, the court of law, precedents get set. So I want you guys to succeed in this whole endeavor of getting reparations. But let me, what the logic of this is, you have a person like Bernie Sanders, right? And Bernie Sanders is a white guy. Bernie Sanders realizes that he counted on you guys last year, 2 years ago, to even get a nomination, and he wasn't able to get the nomination. So you're expecting for him to have a lot of faith in the same people that he counted on to get the denomination. But I mean, okay, where I'm going with this is we have no choice. We have to have a third party, a third black party that's going to represent all our issues, right? And mobilize all black people. I don't care what it is, ADOS or non-ADOS. You know, we probably can't win the election, but guess what? At the end of the primaries, at the end of the things, we have a voting block that we can go to maybe a Democratic candidate and be like, hey, you know what? You can get this large chunk of this voting block, you know what I'm saying, and guarantee you a win of the election if you meet these demands.
Right. No one
power, or we can be like, oh, you know what? Don't have that position of power and be like, hey, you know, when Donald Trump wins the election, we go on our hands and knees, groveling and begging him, you know, for reparations. Come on, man.
Politics doesn't operate on kind gestures and good-heartedness. If you've seen how the sausage is made in the politics, you would hate this country. It's all about deal making. When you understand your political strength, if you understand your political strength, then you could make moves. You just can't just say, hey, my vote belongs to the Democrat Party because all I know all my life I was raised to hate Republicans. You know what I'm saying? So right. When you understand and you could move and maneuver, I'll vote for whoever is going to give my block some power. You know, but what I have to say is, brother, is that we are fighting a mentality. Even though you say they deserve the whole United States of America, I don't think that registers to them. They hate you because you listen, if they got reparations, they would still come into your neighborhoods to oppress us. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, I have to hate you niggas. And the poor white man and the poor black man, each on one side of the road, they're gonna, hey, what's up to the white man? Is like, oh, look at them niggas over there. Them niggas ain't ADOS. This is the ADOS mentality. I hate you niggas. Even though you acknowledge what belongs to them, that still will not, that still means nothing to them. Because if it was started off of hate, it will end in hate. These niggas hate you. This comes from the heart. It doesn't come from their political awareness. It doesn't come from that. It doesn't come from them calculating the numbers and like how we are really outflanking them. Because in order for that to be true, we have to have an agenda against them, which we don't.
Right.
Which we don't.
Right.
So this is purely from hate. I could say African Americans deserve the whole planet Earth because of what happened to them in reparations, but them niggas will
No,
still hate me.
I think they deserve America, not the whole earth. Cause it's, you know what I mean. From what I understand, African Americans who haven't traveled outside the United States, they don't know the whole the world around you is black, not just you guys. That's another thing. Like them, like I heard my friend talking the other day. He's a Belizean, and he said he was arguing with an African American about my black versus his black. I said this other day, like, does black have variations now? Like, does that make any sense? My black versus your black?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, like the African American is trying to say that his black is different from all the other blacks wherever. Like, oh, I know it sounds stupid. All right, like black when it black come in shades and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Black is just a crayon. Black,
Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch.
yeah.
Right.
Like,
That it doesn't apply to Africans. It only applies to what's the name? I guess
like I must have heard a panel on O'Shea, and he said, well, he had Paris Milan on there, and he's dating an African dude, and he said, is that considered twirling? If
Swirling,
one
that's
black,
fucking stupid.
yeah, like it doesn't matter. The child is still gonna turn out black, even if, like, say, Paris fuck the African and you have a baby, it's still gonna be black. What's the difference? I don't get it.
I don't even know, man. I really don't even know. I mean, this MAGA movement within black people, a segment of black people, is just asinine. You know what I'm saying? This shit is asinine. Let's talk about some of these things I said in video.
Hey, somebody else that jumped in the room?
I don't know. Anybody can jump in the room. I don't care, man. Anybody can jump.
Okay.
If they want to jump in the room, they can jump in the room, man. You know what I'm saying? Go in the lines, then. I don't care what political view that they have. You know, hey, it is what it is, man.
Nah, but we ain't bashing on 80. That what they think that we bash. No, we ain't bashing y'all, man.
Bashing what, man? What is it to bash, bro? I mean,
Like I said, like we already have ADOS, but it's not called ADOS. It's called CARICOM. You know, so the difference between us and them, we didn't go to the International Court of Justice. This is where you get your reparations and say, oh, we didn't say, oh, them African American, they stopping us from getting our money. And we do, you know, the white man would look at us fucking stupid. Like, what do they have to do with your reparations in the Caribbean? That's what I'm talking about. They didn't have to speak on us to get y'all money. Y'all don't have to speak on us.
No, I don't. What I don't understand is the whole ignorance of it, the whole ignorance of the money part of it. Reparations, like, you know, before people start jumping on stuff, man, have these entertainer people that are leading you guys into a burning building actually explain shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's so fun to tell people to hold our own nuts. It's so fun to tell the people, oh no, we just looking out for ourselves. Oh, I know that shit is so fun to tell people again, hold your own nuts. You know what I'm saying? And not have to.
Well, he the main. I know you talking about. He the main one talking about hold your own. Look, that's what he does. He'll make a video talking about we're melanated people. Y'all need to get together in the next video.
Melanated nation.
Nuts.
Dog, you know what I'm saying? I know it's fun to keep telling us to hold our own nuts, but come on, man. Please explain what reparations are. What is reparations? You think it's a dollar fucking bill with your slave master on that shit. That's what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what you think it is. It's not that. It's not that. I know this Q acronym that says ADOS. And plus, look up. There's a book called Adios America, you know, by Ann Coulter that was wrote by 3 years ago. That adios is spelled ADOIS, and by coincidence, it has the same talking points that you guys love to use. I don't know
So basically, it's basically a mocked group. If the leader's not even Yvette is a black dude. Like you copied somebody else's group. Make no sense.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? She corrected y'all leader, dog. When you talk about they don't rock with no damn Ann Coulter, man. She's using the same talking points, dog. The name of the book is called Adios America: How the Left is Turning America into a Third World Hellhole. What the fuck do you think she was talking about?
Man, that bitch don't give a fuck about black people.
What you talking about? She says African Americans deserve civil rights. Read between the lines. What does you think she's talking about? I know you guys can think on multi dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Like if she says that African Americans, you know what I'm saying, deserve civil rights, it's like telling a person they need to remember to breathe. Duh. So if she's saying that you deserve to be treated like a human, what is she saying about everybody else that's black?
Why do you need civil rights if you're a citizen?
Exactly. I'm reaching.
That's true.
She specifically says African Americans deserve their civil rights in this country. What is she saying about every other black person in this country? I know you're a smart guy. You know, you come on here and JJ Philly, and you got so. Tell me what she's saying. Then I'm reaching. Damn, man, I got go gadget arms or something. You tell me what the hell she's talking about. Then, you know what I'm saying? If you don't think the basis of just humanity is having civil rights, why does she have to remind us that shit? What's wrong with
she a white devil?
Truth Seeker? Truth Seeker just said that she is right. What's wrong with that? Civil rights. You guys know what civil rights are, right?
Yeah, civil rights are for everybody. Not just one particular race.
Oh my goodness, dog. Oh my.
People need to look up the law. It's for everybody. It's like this. If African Americans that fight for civil rights, then they will get what's due to them. You know what I mean? Y'all could use civil rights as an excuse if it was just for black. But they protest for this, so you can't get mad because your people protesting for something that helps everybody.
You know who would need civil rights?
What?
If animals say monkeys evolved to have human minds, right? Like to think like us, right? Then there would be a debate. Well, since they can speak and think like us, do they deserve civil rights? Monkeys deserve civil rights. And this is basically what they're saying. Somehow these dark-skinned monkeys can think like us, and maybe we should give them civil rights.
PETA has more respect for African and Caribbean immigrants than some of these ADOS people, because PETA thinks like, you know what I'm saying, a cow should have some goddamn rights. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker just said we don't deserve any damn rights. Come on, man. Are you serious, man?
Who said that?
Truth Seeker. He says, oh, when she said civil rights, she was talking about many things in terms of benefits in this country. Bro, Martin Luther King talked about civil rights. Civil rights was just being treated as a damn human. That's what they were talking about.
There you go with the monkey analogy.
They're some monkey shit right now.
They're calling you a monkey.
No, you are way smarter than that, dog. You are way smarter than that. It's just like telling a person that you need to remember to breathe. You know what I'm saying? You got to read between the lines. These white supremacists are very strategic in their words. You got to take for everything that they say literally. If a person is telling you that they make a distinction that these are people that deserve the civil rights, what are they saying about everybody else? Come on, man. There's a reason that she says that, man. Get off the boo-boo, man. Come on, man.
Well, she was only saying that at the time because she was trying to sell a book. That's what that interview was about.
Okay. Oh, so we got somebody else on here. All right, man. Introduce yourself, man.
Yes, my name is Mark. I'm from Florida, Jacksonville.
Okay, I'm from Florida too, man. We in the building, man. So you straight up ADOS, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, you know what? You're welcome too, man. I love all my brothers, man. Hey, but hey, let's try to find a little bit of middle ground. Um, when some of these entertainers come out and they say this negative things about these leeching comments about African immigrants and also Caribbean immigrants, like I guess if you were in our shoes, what was the ideal way that you guys expected us to react?
Well, I mean, I think that you were in your right to, or anybody is in their right to react, negatively if they're being attacked. So I don't agree with that. People acting out that way, and there's just a toxic element to this movement, if you want to call it that. Which which I support the movement, but I don't support the toxic side of it. And I don't hate immigrants. My wife is Haitian. Yeah, go ahead.
Where's your wife from?
Haiti.
Oh, okay. See, this is what a lot of these people don't understand when they speak about the black immigrants. Like we spoke about this earlier, no cupcake. That um, in 2 to 3 generations later, we have assimilated into the black population. So, like, there, black immigrants only remain immigrants for the first generation, maybe the second. After that, we're black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So that identity of Haitian or Jamaican or wherever else I came from, it's 3 generations down the road. You're black American. So like we got except for me, I'm not married, I don't have any kids, but you're now so-called African American ADOS, and we got my Haitian brother and my brother from Belize, right? and
Right.
and and everyone is in a relationship or married to someone or has kids with someone who is not from their nation, you know. Generations down the road, that's how come you have to think about the movement you create or what's going to be the side effects and stuff like that
You know
when you
what? That's
start
like
making it.
like one of my aunties, she messed around with nothing but African men. What you call it? I have another one that she had a child with an African American. Like the fourth, fifth, sixth, they're not going to claim Jamaica. They're not going to claim Haiti. They're
They're
going to
not.
claim America.
They're going to claim Black American. That's what they're going to do. So this, I don't understand the mentality of black immigrants, because we're going to mix up with you anyway. In 3 generations down the road, we're going to be ADOS too.
Hey,
So
hey, you know what? I've been meaning to ask somebody about,
Like,
like for instance, Ronda Rousey. Are you guys comfortable with her? Somebody like Ronda Rousey. She's, I guess she's would be a slave descendant somehow, but she checks the
Yeah.
box off as white. I mean, when those big checks come out, how are you guys going to feel about a person like Ronda Rousey?
Wait, how is she able to check off? Well,
I
how is
think like a couple generations back, one of her grandfathers
Yeah,
or
her
grandparents
great
were
grandfather,
black.
like
I
a
mean,
great grandfather.
I'm
I'm
thinking
sorry.
like
Go ahead.
I'm thinking like maybe there has to be a system like how, with the Indians, how there has to be a certain blood quantum level or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure how they would work that, but I would think it
So
has to be something
so
like that.
so so basically, they can buy they can probably buy themselves in, just like the $5 Indians, huh?
I mean, I guess so.
So all they gotta do, just like, I mean, I guess if you're gonna start doing genetic testing, you know what I'm saying? If you got enough money, you can make those numbers look however you want.
yeah, you know what? I took an ancestry test about 2 years back, and they just had an update, right? It was 14% I was Native American. And when I went to the update, the white boy took off the, you don't want him to be so much a Native American. Like, there's actually white people playing with numbers on them ancestry tests and shit. They
It-
made me more African and took away my Native American and shit. It was only a little bit anyway. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah. I didn't mean
yeah,
to cut
yeah,
you off,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And Mill Mark, man, go ahead, man. Hey, dog, just tell us, you know what I'm saying, what the ADOS, the average ADOS person, man. How do you guys feel about your leaders and stuff like that that's leading
Like
the movement?
I feel like they're a small number, but they're the loudest. So um like, and I believe it's one or two things. There's ignorance, and then there's just like I guess personal history. So I guess they must have grew up, or they must have been personally affected by someone, some immigrant, and then they're putting it off on everybody else. Um,
I think you might have a valid point right there. One of the things is I think, for instance, Yvette Carnell. I think the fact that and I'm not saying that in a derogatory light that she's lesbian, but if you look at a
Man,
lot
she eat
of
pork.
if
She
you look at
eat
how
pork.
African countries and just in general Caribbean countries, Jamaica or something like that, how they feel about those alternative lifestyles, I think right there that gives her probably a little bit of angst. And I think that's one of the reasons that she's spearheading this movement. I think this is a little bit of a personal vendetta. What do you think?
yeah, I could say that. I mean, I would believe that. That's something that's not very much accepted in the Caribbean. Um,
She have a hard time pushing her sexuality in black nations, you know. So
Right.
yeah,
And
sorry to
Man,
cut
Tone,
you off.
she eat pork, so she can't talk. She eat a white bitch pork, so she can't talk about nobody and shit.
hey, but like somebody like Tone Talks, like how does Tone Talks get away? We're working for the for the DA office in California, which is like a
You know
police
that
state,
you know
and
that's
they
basically a
jumped
cop.
all they jumped all over Kamala Harris. How does he get away with it?
I mean, I don't know too much about his history. I mean, this the first time I ever heard about him was just through this whole ADOS thing. Um, but like I'm glad with this movement. I'm glad the conversation is being had. You know, I'm not so much into the personalities or anything.
Okay.
Like with the people, I don't really care about the people. I'm just glad the conversation is being had because it's been ignored for so long.
Yeah, it's
Hey
like
brother, hey,
dialogue.
hey brother, let me ask you: do you think it was possible to create a black political movement without it being like ADOS, the way ADOS started off, like attacking like black immigrants and just it being wrapped around slavery and reparations? Like did it have to be a black political movement that could start it off? Like hey, you know, uh, we're for us now. Could there have been another group to start off like that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I just know, like black people have to have had to unite somehow. I mean, even though there's a break in between immigrants and ADOS, just a little bit in some portions, but
But if I had to choose, man, I would pick Pan Africanism because it represents all of us, and not just just African Americans and shit.
Let me
yeah,
let me
but
go.
some people feel like against that because you have some immigrants who don't want to identify as black. Like they might say that
You know why? I'm gonna tell
like
you
you.
why. Because black is a word Columbus fucking gave us. He gave us the word. What? This is like they're not even really white. You know what I mean? We're claiming crayons as our race. That don't make it doesn't make any
No,
sense.
like what I'm saying is like not necessarily the black thing, but it's like I'm not you. It's kind of like that you have some people who say that "No, I'm not you, I'm not like you, and like you're beneath me, kind of attitude. And it kind of goes on both sides.
Yeah,
It can go both ways. So I mean,
I,
that right there
I,
needs to be broken.
I get that, but I think that's overblown. You know what I'm saying? Just like you have a New York dude will talk to, a Florida dude like we country or look down at us. I mean, that's just how we are in general as people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We do represent our, you know what I'm saying? Why do you think people have New York hats on? Why do you think people have LA hats on? Why do you think people have? Because that's just the tribal nature
It's
of,
tribalism. People.
yeah, it's the tribal nature of us. You know what I'm saying? But most Africans or most black people that I know even are immigrants, they are trying to assimilate within American culture. Believe that. That's why you see, you remember, Soul Traveler, you remember, back in high school, that Haitian kid that was, that we used to look at, that was fresh off the boat, dripped himself in Tommy Hilfiger. What he was trying to do?
I think he left out. Yeah,
Hello?
there you go.
Soul Traveler.
Yo, what's up, man? My bad. I got a phone call.
You remember that kid back in high school? Everybody knew him, that was fresh off the boat, that had Tommy this, Tommy that, everything. You remember that kid, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to assimilate in black culture, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where they get this information that we're just automatically like separating ourselves, because I mean, it's just not. It wasn't my experience. Maybe because I was born in the United States, I really never saw that.
Like me personally, I grew up in the Midwest, so I didn't really come across black immigrants, African immigrants, Caribbean immigrants. Heck, I didn't even know what a Haitian was until I met my wife. So,
yeah,
but like I think it's mostly the people who are on the coast, like the New York and in Florida. Like my wife told me that they used to have those black versus Haitian beefs. And she even said like her dad told her not to mess with any black Americans. Don't bring home a black American, until he got to know me. So we cool on that. But
yeah, he met you, right?
Yeah, so I was a good guy because it's all about the what you see, the stuff you get from the media. That plays a big role in it too.
Exactly, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes I was like, man, how the hell did we get here? I was like, we were talking about something, just in black. 2 years ago we were talking about being melanated. 2 years ago we were talking about building business. We were talking about building the black community, and we were talking about all this stuff. Black Wall Street. We were talking about sovereignty. We were talking about defeating white supremacy. We were talking about all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, the family member just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go get this check. Fuck all you other niggas. How did we get here, man?
Let's be perfectly clear. Every group, every nation of people has its coons. So for you to say we started ADOS because I had some Haitians in my neighborhood and they didn't want their kids dating us and shit. That's BS. That's BS, because I could find another African American who says that he's married to a Haitian woman, and they always go to Haitian functions and stuff like that, vice versa. So that's a great question. How did we get here? As soon as money came on the table, the knives came out as well. As soon as the possibility of money was talked about, knives started being on the table and being stabbed in black immigrants' backs. I just got to call it how I see it.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of coons, you remember a couple months ago when Kanye West, was draped in the American flag? He was talking about his lineage. He had the Making America Great Again hat, how he part to be American and all this stuff. Weren't we calling him coon? Wasn't he coon?
Brother, now he could wear, yes, they did. And he could wear the same hat today, but put hashtag ADOS right under MAGA, and then it'll be fine.
But wasn't he coon? I mean, come on, man. Some of the stuff that you guys are talking about at ADOS, that sounds real coonish about a week ago. But all of a sudden it's different now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's talk about the story of was it Uncle Tom's Cabin? You know what? Uncle Tom's Cabin.
I hate that shit.
But I'm just saying, Sambo. Let's talk about Sambo though. For real. For real, man.
I don't really like the word Sambo, because Sambo describes someone who was in other countries. It describes somebody who is African mixed with Indian. It's called a caste system. It's in different countries, but when you call like, I don't like that word Sambo. Like,
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but Sambo, he was hell on his people. You know what I'm saying? That was the difference between him and Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom refused to be, mean and, what I'm saying, evil to his people. But Sambo had no problem about it because he was pleasing master. But doesn't that, some of the ADOS people, and I'm not saying all, seem a little Sambo-ish? Is it just me or I'm way off base?
I say they're more coon than Sambo. More coon. It's just like, okay, we talk about white supremacy, but you asking white supremacy for a check. Like, it don't make no fucking sense. That's like somebody jacking you, I'm going to go ask back for it and shit. Like, okay.
Y'all reaching, fam. Oh, way off base, man. I sent you the link, man. Why don't you come in here, man, and set us straight, man. I'm not opposed to having a difference of opinion or whatever, man. But it just seems like that to me, man.
How y'all feel about Kamala Harris?
How I feel about Kamala Harris is how I feel about her having a white husband and trying to, trying to use hot sauce and shuck and jive.
Yeah, she's an empty suit.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what she is.
She's an empty suit. Like she's just like a stand-in for people to pass policies through.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, she might just be a plan. I almost think that her background is so egregious and so bullshit. I almost think that shit I think it was probably just stir the pot. I don't think there's no way that she'll win the nomination, but I think that maybe to get some type of the feminist route up or something like that. I don't even know what it is, dog. I really don't even know what the fuck they were thinking about nominate. I mean, her running for president. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she thought that she was that good that she could just win the presidency or something.
You should see the way you should.
Obama trying to be the next Obama, the female Obama, but it's like this. We don't want Trump again. It's like pick your poison. Either you're gonna get fucked by her, or you're gonna get fucked by Trump. So which one you want to get fucked by? You see, with that whole picking Kamala or Cory Booker, or what I mean, it's like pick your poison. We don't want Trump again as the president. Fuck.
Bro, a truth seeker, bro. The point that I was been trying to make, man, you can walk and chew gum at the same time, man. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. You ain't got to name one time did I say that you did not deserve what you get. It's just a manner of about how you went to try to go get this stuff. I mean, you just took a dump on Caribbean and African people in the process of getting what you deserve. The only problem that I have now is now when you get what you deserve, and you got this lack of infrastructure, you're gonna need all of us to build that infrastructure first of all, you know what I'm saying? But you've created so much bad blood, I don't know if we can even trust you guys. You feel me?
To me, if they get their money, they just gonna look down upon people and shit.
Right.
When black people get money, they look down upon others and shit.
Right.
When they get
I'm just saying when you build that hospital and you get the infrastructure built, you know what I'm saying? Like how is that Nigerian doctor supposed to feel when you ask him, you know what I'm saying, to head up his medical department? Huh? That black hospital that you want so bad. I mean, that Haitian restaurant that you talk so greasy about Haitian people, but you want them to wash your dishes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what about that shit?
Like be a butler.
And you can't throw. I mean, you threw a whole bunch of rocks. Now you're trying to hide your hands. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You threw the first punch, and then you hit us with the punch. Did you think? I mean, what in in Haitian history has ever showed you that we lay down for anybody. The white, I mean, this French, Spanish, the Americans, we ain't never laid down for anybody. In fact, we fought for you to not lay down and get your independence. Look up history. I'm not just
But
talking. Look it up.
a lot of African Americans were house slaves. I think they don't have this same mentality that they have. A lot of more people were field slaves and shit. You know, like field slave versus house slave.
You ain't asking for no check, you demanding it. Tell me how the hell you demanding, you know what I'm saying, when you're having conventions about possibly getting reparations. How the hell is that a demand?
I think everybody should go on with their life because they've been fighting for this shit for decades. So it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Huh?
Go ahead. Hello?
Go low.
Yeah.
No, I'm asking. He's saying that they're demanding it, I don't know, tangibles 2020, man. But anyways, man,
I'm
and
sorry.
Caribbean folks,
I
man,
thought I
hey,
was on mute. I apologize.
for our career, I mean, what is this post ADOS America really gonna look like, man? I mean,
Divided?
divided,
Yeah, I think divided.
right?
Money.
Because what really happens if they don't get this check? Because a lot of the finessers within their organization, you know what I'm saying, when they figure out that they're not getting this check, you know what I'm saying. I mean, what else are they going to be selling for us to be prepared for? Because they got something else up their sleeve.
Money just amplifies who you are, right? So just when they get it, they're going to run out of it pretty quickly. But a large majority of them. But money just amplifies who you are, man, and it's just going to show out. Now, so that's all it is. That's all that's going to happen and it's clear because you can't say you need reparations when you don't even have an institution or a community to circulate that money in when you get it. You don't have a base. You don't have a bank. You don't have a financial system to bring the money back in and put it out. You don't. It's like the image of the snake eating its own tail. You need to circulate that money within your own community, but you want money, but you don't have the system. You're gonna lose it as soon as you get it. That's one of the main reasons I don't want them to get it because it's just going to be a waste. And now you destroy the futures of the kids, the future kid ADOS because they don't have that reparations claim anymore. It's gone because America already paid that out. So people just got to get more financially literate before reparations checks could go out.
I think people have the wrong idea about reparations because I don't think it's about just getting a check, because there has to be
It's not.
reparations from.
You're absolutely right, though. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're absolutely right. The word in itself is not just a check. That's the thing that I think that
Very true.
the leaders have not defined. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, brother.
Yeah, so like, it has to be pretty much a systematic change. Like myself personally, I don't want it to be a check. I rather it be business grants or like land grants, farming, investment, things like that to allow you to build your own money. Because that was the idea of 40 acres and a mule, to give you land, a mule, $100 in order to generate your own money. So that was the intent. So that's what the intent should be, to allow people to do that.
Right. No, it should be repairing because I mean, if they gave you $400,000 like in U.S. currency, if you look at the money, it's worth nothing. It's worth nothing to a country that's was at $22 trillion in debt already. so it's worth nothing. They can crash that anyways, and plus the Chinese owns that shit anyways. So
let me ask you guys.
It has to be, when they talk about tangibles, it has to be within an infrastructure within an infrastructure. But are the white folks really going to let you build an infrastructure within their infrastructure?
Because the Arabs depend on that the non-structure. The Chinese depend on our non-structure. Everyone who comes into this country depend on our ignorance, our financial stupidity. They depend on that to survive. So, no, it wouldn't be in anyone's best interest to educate black folks on money.
Do we even understand the concept of money, man? Is that something that really needs to really be retrained? Some of the leaders of this movement, I think they're really actually doing a disservice to a lot of people, because they're really not telling people the whole truth. For instance, the United States is a corporation. You can look at it up, and this is not something I'm lying about. I saw a guy YouTube video talk about it the other day. It's a United States is a corporation. One of the reasons that you are in a corporation is protection. It's protection. Like me, I would do an LLC to protect my personal assets, right? Against people suing me. So how do you sue a corporation? How do you sue a corporation? Really? Think about it.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do.
Couldn't they just say, you know what, we're bankrupt. We're doing a chapter 17 or chapter 13 or whatever reorganization. How do you go in? That's what I'm saying is like you have the blind leading the blind, or you have somebody leading you into a burning building. It's like, how the hell do you sue a corporation that on paper is bankrupt already?
What I want to know is, where did America go? To what authority did they go to sign up for a corporation?
Right.
A corporation's made to make money. Period. It's a business. It's to make money.
But the people that make their resources, the money, is a corporation itself. The Federal Reserve is a corporation.
Yes.
So how the hell do you sue a corporation to make another corporation pay you? Ask Tone Talks that shit. Ask what's his face that stuff. Does anybody have an answer? Because I'm just saying, there's crickets, man. Even in the chat room, how does that work? I mean, put me up on some game. We have crickets.
Hey,
I'm just saying. I mean, they use this comparison of Jewish people getting reparations, but I did some reading. All I kept seeing was a settlement. It was a settlement for Holocaust survivors, right? Because the Holocaust, when the Holocaust happened, unfortunately for the Germans, they kept good records on stuff. So people could trace their lineage, and they can trace people that were in those concentration camps that were getting killed, and that's where their claims came from.
Not to mean to cut you off, brother, but I remember one time I went to a Holocaust museum, right? And there was a ticket machine. And one of the ticket that came out when I stepped, there was a little black boy. So, I mean, like, that whole Holocaust was about us, too. The white people just got it before us.
Exactly. You're right about that.
Oh, yeah, it happened hundreds and hundreds of years earlier, too.
Yeah, when I think it's the Igbo people before the Holocaust, they were already genociding blacks, Germans.
Exactly. The Germans were already burning people up. But I'm just saying, like, for the ADOS people that they're so quick to tell you to hold your own nuts. They have your nuts, your berries, and all kinds of stuff. No, we're just fighting on our own, or we're just doing this. Those 3-word things. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's no skin off of me. I mean, off of you to tell me, how the hell do you sue a corporation and make another corporation pay you?
And that makes no sense.
Huh?
You cannot sue the American government for slavery because they didn't. They didn't repeal any laws to end slavery. You can't sue them. They're not legally responsible. The
But you
American government is not responsible for slavery.
but you have an attorney that's leading a movement that all these people are following, and I don't know, has he took the time to be like, hey, this is how this happens. No, no, they sent the bill to Congress, which was like HR 40. But
Yeah.
shout out to T West, Afros Energy. He said the same thing has been going to Congress for years. I mean, the same bill repackaged have been going for years. So what is brand new about this? Is this a new feeling that people have, a new energy? Did somebody put a battery in their back and say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and go for this, and you'll get some people in your super chat that's going to give you a whole bunch of money. Just don't really tell them what the truth is. Just go ahead and keep playing with them, and then all of a sudden you'll be enriched, and then you can move on to something else. Is that what's happening?
I think what it does, it prevents people from focusing on building their own financial system, their own institution. Right now, it stops that because now everyone's focused on there's money coming, so I'm just going to wait on the money before I make any moves.
No, well, I believe with this, what's going on is the only reason is as loud is because they were trying to use it to attack Bernie Sanders because they knew before in 2016 he said no, and they really don't want Bernie Sanders to be president, so they're going to use this to, kind of handicap him. They,
When you say they, who are you talking about?
like the more establishment side of the Democratic Party, they
No,
really don't.
no, no. When you say they're using it to defeat Bernie, when you say they, who are you talking about?
No, when I say they, I'm talking about the more establishment, the CNN types, the establishment of the Democratic Party, because they really don't want him to be, president, because they have a lot of moneyed interests that really don't want him to ruin what they got going on with the pharmaceutical.
The only thing with Bernie is selling a dream, like free everything. This is what he said. It's the same thing he said on the last. Free this, free that. Nothing in the world is free.
Well, yeah, of course. No, I'm just saying, like that's what I'm just saying. That's why I believe it's as loud as it is, because they're trying to weaponize it to take him out. That's why I believe it's so loud.
if I'm gonna
Thank you for
vote for
saying that, brother.
anybody,
But I'm
I'm gonna
just
vote
saying, I mean,
for.
take Bernie out, you have a confirmed white supremacist that you want to put in that has not said one thing about reparations. But I'm just saying, they're holding. They want to play this passive aggressive game with Bernie Sanders in the Democratic Party, right? For not, agreeing to reparations. But yet they want another person that has said nothing and probably won't say nothing and probably will give you the middle finger if you even mention that shit to him. How's that make sense? Is it that you're close, you got the approval of massa of white supremacy? Because you know what, Trump will definitely be happy with black people if he gets back in there, and he was and you guys were the reason. So is it just a pat on the head that you're looking for? What is it? What's the end result?
I think
I think that
I think it was
that
something
he gonna
important
end
with
up
the.
being president again. That's what I think. That because there's going to be a lot of people who don't want him. Well, last year, I mean, the last election, there was a black people on here telling black people not to vote, and if you don't vote, that's just like a win for Trump. You don't vote. You know,
I
so.
I think what the brother was saying, how they're using Bernie, the establishment. I was really wanting him to say conservatives, but he made me think when he said the establishment, because this is how they view black folks, and black people will be continue to be used as a battering ram. White people can make up a talking point to get black people emotionally attached to it, and you will be their tanks, and you will be their guns, and you will be their ammunition, and you will go to war for a whole completely different cause than what these people were anticipated. Because you are emotionally attached to something when you're just uh, 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 you're just completing the task that your slave masters wanted you to complete. And that's all it is. This ADOS movement, the Adios Book of America, that's all this is. White people create talking points to control what black people talk about. If you ask me, they got us in their back pockets. They're not even concerned about us being a revolution or anything like that. They got us in their back pockets, man.
So,
My
okay,
God, man.
how do y'all feel about Cory Booker? I think he probably is the only one that I probably would vote for if he
No.
changes his mind.
Nah, they had it they had it already that he wasn't. They canceled him. I forgot why they canceled him, but they canceled him for he didn't have any damn chance because I don't even know. I think he was too Barack Obama-ish, or I don't know. I don't know. They had something against him out the gate. I mean, I'm not in the two-party system politics, so I don't know exactly what the problem with him was, but they had a problem with him from the jump. Like he wasn't it. He wasn't going to get in there.
Well,
I don't
that's
even
the
think he's
only
invited
two
to the barbecue.
like
I don't
really
think he.
shit is Kamala and is either that or Trump gonna be the president again.
Yeah, no. I think no. They're real. Like I said, I said this before. The two people in this country that have been together the longest. Who are the two people in this country that's been together the longest? Who has this closest relationship? It's the slave master and the slave. You know what I'm saying? That who is the slave is so comfortable with. I mean, come on, man. If we are as black people, we are so comfortable with white supremacy. We are so comfortable with that.
We
Sometimes
don't want it to end.
we don't want it to end. We crave it. That's why you'll have a lot of these ADOS people right now be like, "Oh, Trump is not so bad. Oh, Trump is so. Oh, I don't mind Trump. Oh, I don't mind Trump at all. Oh,
You know what it is?
Trump ain't
It's
so bad. What
comfortable with
said? It's just like
slavery.
when just what he says, like black people. Say what? Come on, give me a chance. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? You know, hey, you've been through it all already. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
You know what
those
I'm saying?
courts, the courts is what can happen though.
Say that again.
I said it's the courts. That's what can happen.
I really wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade, but that's something else. But yeah, you're right about that. But also, when Tyreek tell black folks we might as well let Trump win, you know what that means? That means you're gonna let everybody win in your local elections as well if you don't go
Yeah,
out
yeah,
and vote.
yeah.
USA is fucked. Yeah, but USA is fucked. If he think like that, then USA is screwed.
And he's like, and then he gonna be like, hold your own nuts. Hold your own nuts.
Somebody
You
should
get
have
your
And,
head
and you
bashed
know,
in for another 4 years. You like, hold your own nuts. Hold your own nuts.
that coming from that B Miles dude and shit. Like they should have told you Caribbean we don't hold we hold titties and pum pum. That's what we be holding. Your hands like long balls and shit.
B Miles, come on, man. Have you guys listened to this guy, man? Seriously, bro.
I like when he says about melanated. All when then he does a video like a week later. Oh, hold your own nuts, nigga. Like really? Come on.
No, I mean, I think there's a side to Tariq though where he's really an opportunist. Um, I feel for the most part.
Hey, you know what, dog? It saddened me to say that shit, dog, because I was a real big fan of him. And then he just started this. I was just like, I guess sometimes, I mean, this has been he's been doing this shit for the longest. I guess when you are, a fan and you listen to, people's work, sometimes you kind of like look past their bullshit. But this shit is so goddamn blatant that it's just like, God damn, boy.
Dude
That
has like 4 videos talking about some hold your own nuts and shit, and it's from last year. Like he's repeating the same thing he said from last year. Like we supposed to get together, we all melanated people of the earth, and now it's hold your own balls and shit. Like
That was originally for like that was originally
this
for like go ahead.
this J it was a JJ Philly dude said he is the truth. Come on, my nigga. This dude made 5 videos telling us about how African and kings and queens we were. And then he even made a video about the Haitian Revolution and everything like that, right? You know what I'm saying? How, you know what I'm saying, how, we were melanated and all that stuff. And then he turned around and basically says, hold our own nuts, we ain't shit. Come on, man.
That's
How do you respect that,
but
dog?
I don't
Serious
give
on a
okay.
huh?
If it's fuck foreigners and indigenous people and shit and telling us to hold our nuts, like I said, when I go to protest, who's holding who nuts? The immigrants holding your nuts. I mean, go ahead,
no, we
man.
we always been
It's so
holding our nuts.
elementary. Hey,
But
truth seeker, man, tell us something that's high school then, dog. Besides hold our own nuts,
That's the real tangibles 2020 when they holding their own fucking nuts. That's tangible 2020s.
dog. Okay, tell me this. All right, truth seeker, you're in the room, man. You talk about tangibles, right? You guys talk about tangibles 2020 and stuff like that, right? All right. If you're talking about so why the fuck do you want Bernie Sanders to make like a symbolic gesture of being a black man in this next election if it's tangible 2020? Like you really want him to win, but you know that for an election he's fighting on a losing issue. So tell me, how the hell is that tangible? Huh?
I think there's a big disconnect here,
Y'all
man.
cracking on Tariq. He is minute. He intentionally misrepresents our position. No, we don't. I don't know. He said this conversation is light. We're talking light. Well, you know what, man? Tell us. I mean, what is a heavy conversation that we need to get into? Okay, Bernie Sanders is not okay. If Bernie Sanders, if you don't want Bernie Sanders, then you don't want Kamala Harris. You don't want Cory Booker. Then who the fuck do you want? Hell, let's just have Yvette Carnell, run for president. You know what I'm saying? For a third
Hell
party or
no.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want nobody from the Democratic Party to win. Then what? Then who the hell do you want to win then? That's that. It's very simple. It's very simple. It doesn't take. I mean, I know you think that this conversation is light and everything, but if you don't want anybody, and I'm not a Democrat, I don't fuck with the 2-party system, but please explain, if you don't want nobody from the Democratic Party to win, then who the hell do you want to win? Do you want the U.S. to cancel its election or something like that? Is that what you want? Hello, crickets. There's crickets.
My bad.
Yeah, they're different wings of the same bird. I mean, same bird,
Basically.
but you got one that's more, a little bit more closely, aligned.
But what I heard, man, like Democrats, white Democrats and white Republicans both enslave black people. That's what I'm like. It doesn't make no sense sometimes.
We gotta come from this from a standpoint of logic, because if we being emotionally tied, like logic tells you that fuck reparations. I don't want reparations, right? And I was gonna ask, how much money is good enough for reparations, right? Or if we say $2 trillion, we can actually get $2 trillion. We can build a $2 trillion fund with what we have now.
Yeah.
Why do we need reparations? We don't even need that. We don't even need that. We could build that right now in America. And Black Americans have a perfect opportunity. Well, I'm a Black American, but us Black Americans, we have a perfect opportunity because We are the richest group of Negroes in the world, which means that we are not satisfied with our financial status here in America compared to white folks. Well, fuck white folks. Why the fuck we gotta be concerned about them? That American citizen came with a blue passport, man, and we got money. The shit we need to take care of, and we just sitting here crying. We don't need reparations as black folks, period, worldwide. Worldwide, we don't need it.
Man, I just think that we took a bunch of steps forward, like last year and the year before, in talking about this pro black movement. With even with Pan Africanism, I thought that was a great step in a direction. But of course, Sambo, went and whispered to Master's ear that, oh, you know what, they're about to escape. They're building something. They're about to escape. How can we stop them, Master? How can we stop them, Master? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We brought our lesbian coon that we hated 2 years ago. The feminist person that hates all black men. You remember her? Oh no, we got her. So we got her on our side. So to derail the movement. So
Talking about COINTELPRO.
Right. Well, people got a hard time understanding and seeing Tariq Nasheed as a gatekeeper. He is one of those people, because he's not trying to liberate black folks. You can't talk white supremacy and then be on stage the very next day on stage with white folks singing the Mink Slide. You can't do that.
No, Cupcake, he's eating off of your people because he should stop doing documentaries about the Haitian Revolution and then you want to tell us, fuck us. You know what I mean? That made no sense.
I mean, he was in Jamaica. I mean, you talking all this A-dose, hold your own nuts? Nigga, like, God, how do you find the testicular fortitude to go to Jamaica telling all black immigrants to hold their own nuts?
Jamaicans don't play that shit, telling them about nuts and shit.
I think he just, took some examples from a few coons and then just generalized it on everybody, which I don't think he should have done. But
Oh, they said that when they used to say when you were a kid, you are what you eat. You remember what you are what you eat. If you keep calling someone something, that means that you're probably that person. You know what I'm saying? All that cooning that you made videos of coon this and videos of coon that called Sotomayor coon, blah blah blah. And in 2019, who's dancing for Ann Coulter? Who's dancing for Ann Coulter? Yeah, no, you're right. No, JJ Philly, you absolutely right. Because this tribe is only about 100,000 people strong or whatever. No, you're absolutely right. That's one of the things I think, we're just in here clowning a little bit, but from a bigger picture perspective, these platforms, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to think sometimes even though I'm a YouTuber, that some of these platforms might be doing a lot of harm to us in general.
Right. Good.
I think it might be doing a lot of harm because we do elevate some of these people that really have no power when in the grand scheme of things. They really don't even have no goddamn power at all. Period. They're just talking heads. And because they can, put on a shiny suit and say, a couple things, we think that they have some type of clout when they really don't have no damn clout at all. It's like, and YouTube can do that to you because the masses can, because through retargeting and everything like that, they can really control how you think. And one of the things I wanted to bring up, I don't mean to be long-winded, was I'm starting to get a lot of conservative ads that are from the NRA and like these different conservative groups. And I don't know because I put the hashtag ADOS on my videos, but I'm starting to get a lot of them. Are you guys getting the same thing? Because there's a lot of ads. Yeah, there's a lot of like Republican propaganda in just the whole ADOS movement. If you think about it, are you guys? Am I experiencing the same thing you guys are?
I've been getting kind of like ads every single minute. Yeah.
Have you been getting conservative ads like NRA and
Yeah, talking about guns
Trump?
and yeah, I've been getting all that.
Yeah. So you know what? I mean, I do marketing, and there's a thing called retargeting, and you can retarget people that's been to your page with different ads. You know, where that's what you pay for when you do pay for click and ads. So it does make sense. Maybe they're trying to get us to sit on our hands, for a reason or something. I don't know. But what do you guys think, man?
I ain't got really nothing to say about that, brother.
how about how about you, Soul?
Sitting on the hands part.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what Tyreek is trying to do. It makes you think that there's like a deeper agenda in what he's doing. I mean, he puts out documentaries of Googled information, you know, and and now, you're telling black folks, sit on your hands if they don't give you what you want. This creates like a when white people wanted to start a country, you know what they did? They went to another country, stole people, and made them work for free. When black people want to start their own country, you know what we do? We march and protest and beg for reparations. It's like, yeah, Tyreek is a gatekeeper, man. Sit on your hands, guys. Don't elect anyone local. Don't elect your governor. Don't elect your state senators. Don't elect anyone who could really give you some reparations or pre-reparation money now. You know, just don't go to the voting poll booth at all. You know, and let Donald Trump win. This is some dumb nigga shit. And also on top of that, when you don't sign up to vote, they're not going to call you in to sit on a jury for jury duty. And now you completely gave these people power to send niggas to jail, definitely in courtrooms, because black people ain't there because they didn't vote and they listened to Tyreek Nasheed.
Yeah. Well, this guy is accusing us of Negro splaining or being a contrary Negro. But they ain't really I guess we need to hold our own nuts or some shit. But anyways, let's talk about some solutions, man. The only solutions that I guess a lot of people don't like to talk about is a third party, because that's the only freaking solution that you have right now is a third party. That's the solution that we have, homie.
Man, you know what? I don't even think we should be a party, but I just think like, hey, we're a block. We here's our demographics. Here's our numbers. We're doing bad compared to everybody else. We need to set up our own financial institutions. If you're willing to do this for us, we'll give you a vote. The people who print the American money, the American dollar, because the American government doesn't own the American dollar. They said they don't care who the politicians are, who's the government, as long as they get to print the money for that nation. So as long as we can substitute our votes for money, but as long as they are willing to give us some quid pro quo, hey man, I don't care who's in the White House.
Yeah. You know what? One of the things that me and you talked about a little bit, man, and I don't know. I think this is, would be probably pretty effective. We can get out of the way of the ADOS. I think someone, from Caribbean or maybe the Caribbeans need to spearhead this, because if you look at where we're coming from, our motherland and our homeland, just off the coast of, Florida and those type of places. I mean, there's a big opportunity. And with even the spending power that we as immigrants have here, we have a chance to create relationships within those those countries and stuff like that to significantly change the complexity of those nations. Because I mean, I even talked about a hexit, even if I was born here, a Haitian exit, because if you think about the political landscape that we have right now in America, I mean, is it really going to be worth it, to have, you're under the guise of, I mean, you're under the system of white supremacy. Now you having your brother that looks at you to say, you know what, you need to be a second-class citizen. I don't think this is a formula or a place that we should be at. What do you guys think? Crickets.
Yeah, my bad, man. What you call out busy and shit?
No, I'm just saying, man. It's like it's getting really hectic around here, man, because we're under the thumb of white supremacy. Now we have our brethren telling us we should take a back seat and be a second-class citizen. And no one that I know, we have huge, tremendous opportunities in our countries, back home. For instance, in Haiti, their economy is only an $8 billion economy. We could, even if you can change that economy by 10% with the resources that we have over here as Americans, you know what? That could take Haiti out of third world status very easy and have the country, including us, live very fruitful and productive lives, man. What are you guys thinking about a Hexit or a Blexit, for my Belizean guy over here?
When you say Hexit, what do you mean by Hexit? Like
Haitian exit. When we start
leave from the United States and go to Haiti?
Hell yeah.
Not go to Haiti, but put some tangibles in Haiti so we could mature like any type of businesses in Haiti. Instead of just making use of our citizenship and investing in Haiti versus trying to invest here in America.
I mean, that'd be nice. Like like I talked to my wife. We talked about building a house there. Think about I just hear about Haitian politics. America is heavily involved in disrupting their politics. Just a couple of weeks ago, you saw undercover soldiers there trying to do stuff with the protests or whatever's going on there. So you just have like an external force that's really holding Haiti down. So no matter what people try to do, somebody's going to thwart it.
The Caribbean, we can't progress because USA has blockades and sanctions and all type of shit on our countries too. When people don't talk about that neither, why people might be in problems over there.
There's something real sick about the ADOS movement because you pad your prestige on American imperialism. America has sabotaged many black nations' governments. And now you say, oh, you can't get any of our benefits. Like,
yeah, that's problem.
I can't put that together, man.
Yeah, I can't put that together. Okay, Malcolm M. And Truth Seeker, man. Go ahead and turn the page on your talking points. Like you're running out of them. You know what? He says he has no answers. Like the Fox News talking points, he has no answers. Go to a different talking point. Turn the page on that, homie. Go back to telling me to hold my own nuts, and then tell me to hold my own nuts again. But anyways, this Malcolm dude says like he's not trying to make anybody a second-class citizen, but he just wants his reparations. One of the arguments of the ADOS is how immigrants are taking advantage of different things that were set aside for them. As you're pretty much telling me that I should, as a U.S. citizen like myself, I was born here. I'm not allowed to take advantage of something that was put out for people of my skin tone to take advantage of. That's like me being a second-class citizen. So you're telling me I should be second class because I am a son of an immigrant. I should not be entitled to some of these benefits or what you're saying. So that is second class shit. I don't know what world you came from. And plus, okay, you guys talk about that we're co-opting your movement and we're stealing your resources, your tax money and stuff like that. Let me answer this question: have you, as a Black American, not benefited from the oppression of people of the African diaspora all over the world? Yes or no?
God. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Those tax dollars you talk about and those resources that you talk about, where do they come from? That gold chain that you're wearing, where did that come from? Huh? Please, that cobalt in your cell phone, where did that come from?
The diamonds you buy your wife. You know, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I kind of thought about this because the ADOS movement is kind of one dimensional, so you don't really think about where that money's coming from, and if America thrives on the oppression of other countries, so if all the other countries were to be empowered, they would pull away from America, and America would fall.
Right.
France and all, America would be on the rise if Africa was
France
actually
is
free.
already
Right.
falling. They couldn't pay no rep. They're already falling.
Right.
Their
Yeah,
economy
actually,
is
yeah,
moving.
I feel that America's on a downfall. So
Right.
Well,
Your descendants built this country. Your descendants built this country. I'm going to say that again. Your descendants built this country. But where the fuck did they get those resources to build this country? Tell me. Where did they get those resources
White
to build this country? I know they didn't pay you any labor or anything like that, but where the fuck did they get those resources to build this country? Or did they get them from the Indians? Huh? Last time I checked, there was a kid that was getting his hand cut off it was in the Sierra Leone. Huh? Come on, man. Let's be all the way 100 with this. You know what I'm saying? Were these resources that came from that you and Massa were able to use to build this country? Where did that shit come from?
Or countries.
In order for black folks to be successful, all black people must rise all together. I know, yeah, our ancestors weren't here during slavery and civil rights, but guess what?
They were. Stop. Tell them to stop lying. No, they were. The Caribbean. No, they were, bro. They were. Haitians have been coming over here since there was
No. I'm talking to the stupid people.
Okay.
Oh, you're Haitian? You guys weren't here. Me and you, we both know Haitians been here since the 1700s. We know that. We Haitian men came to fight in the war to free African Americans in Savannah, Georgia, before even Haiti was freed from France. So spare me your fucking bullshit. We fought, Haitian people fought and bled in this country too for the freedom of African Americans. So it's like, but people forget about that. They forget about that.
Well, I mean,
did you know half of the scholars that they teach here, black scholars, are Caribbean or got some type of Caribbean lineage? Like they don't talk about that neither. That like a lot of the so-called black scholars that we all talk about, Malcolm X.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem ADOS has because they want it to be them. They don't want it to be the Caribbean folks. I could understand that, but guess what? White people are trying to do. White people are trying because they know they can't push that with some African American folks. Some they can, some they can't. But they're trying to bury the history here in America.
Exactly.
That's what trying to do.
Exactly. Hey, okay. ADOS people, man, tell me what the equivalent of Marcus Garvey is. Don't say Malcolm X, because Malcolm X isn't his folks. Weren't they from the Barbados or something like that, or Grenada or something like that? Don't say. Please do not say Louis Farrakhan. Please don't say Louis Farrakhan. But just tell me the equivalent of Marcus Garvey that you guys have since you fought so goddamn hard. Tell me the equivalent of one of the Haitian generals. I can't even say their names, but just tell me the equivalent of one of them. Equivalent that was willing to give up his soldiers to fight for your fucking freedom. Name the equivalent. Name one of them. I'm drawing a blank, huh? Are you drawing a blank? Hey, get that Google out real quick, man. Name that black general, you know what I'm saying, that says, hey, you know what? Slaves from America, man, let's go fight over in another country to free these people.
Man, a lot of war history is buried. Like
Talking at the funeral.
And and I gotta repeat this fact here because there were free black people in America. Not every black person in America were slaves. America wants you to believe that, but that's not true. Because Haiti had 18 and 1825, Haiti, the Haitian president uh, uh, made a move for African Americans to come and farm on Haitian land so that they could compete against America and start to sell. That's pretty smart. You would think to do that in those times, right? So that they could sell, sugar and stuff like that, products or produce, right, to other nations. 13,000 African Americans came to Haiti, more than half returned back to America. Okay? You're, our problem here in America is we're dealing with a mind state, a group of people who love white people more than they love themselves. I don't care what kind of state this black nation is in that invited me and gave me land to become a farmer. I'm not going to never return back to a country that has black slaves there. And they did. More than half of them did. So let's be intellectually honest here.
Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. Shout out to Yvette Carnell.
Kanye West. Oh, yeah, her too.
Yeah, that's our problem is the miseducation and just the ignorance. That's the major problem.
Man, yeah, that's a big problem because it's like it's more than 50%. It's a majority of people who choose to be willingly ignorant.
Right. You know what? I mean, I maybe because I'm biased, but somebody from the ADOS community is going to listen to this thing and think that we're being like anti-black or something like that. Just by stating, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to say necessarily facts, but shit that we read and we think are facts. But you know what? I guess there's a way that you can, disprove us by saying, "Oh, this Negro's lying," or "Hold your own nuts," or some type of, talking point or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, do you guys, if you speak against what you think is ignorance, is that being anti-black?
I don't think so.
Well,
I got a good one for you. Why, like I said this to myself, like why do dark people call themselves? Why do we label ourselves black when we're really brown? Is that just a political thing? The word black.
Mental. It's
No,
mental.
it just kind
no,
of
it's a mental thing because everything, like, say in that book, that oppressor has forced on our mentality, and I don't want to offend anybody that's religious, but that book called everything that's dark and black is death. It's bad. You got the Black Plague, you got Black Death, you got anything that's associated with black is negative. So that is the thing. If we were brown, it wouldn't be so bad. It's just like if you think about it, they talk about black and brown people. Those Mexicans are not as bad as us, but you know what I'm saying?
You know what? Like that's why you hear a lot of that about Dominicans and other ones that don't claim black because they think of themselves as brown.
Right.
But that's
brown is not as bad as black. You know what I'm saying? Black is a death. And guess what is associated with white? Everything pure. Everything is great. Everything is great. I mean, it's a psychological mind fuck, but we're already programmed to think like that.
Yeah, and at a certain point, if you was to say I'm not black, then you'll be labeled a coon.
Yeah. Because like if black people would say like we start claiming brown, I think that would change the whole complex because that's just a label somebody gave us. The white man was going around labeling people. Native Americans are really dark. All these names that we use are what white people gave us.
It's
Well,
not a
raccoons are
nation.
gray
It's
though.
not. It's not a nation. You're identifying by a color. We don't need color. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? We need to. I don't mind being identified as an African. You know what I'm saying? I'm an
Yeah.
African. That's what I am. I don't. I have no problems. Well, yes, I understand. It's I wasn't born on the motherland or it's a Greek name or whatever. I'm an African. Until then, we get it. We change our names as a group, but we are unified because there was Pan Africanism. We were all African. Now today, you got people who say they don't want to be African. They want to be American. Your
But
leader traits
you
are
know what?
American.
Like, I'm not meaning to cut you off. The other
No, you
day,
good.
a white Latino, like them people that come and sell shit at your house, right? One
Right.
is a Latino, one is a white Latino, the other one is a Caucasian, a white boy. um, what happened? Go ahead. I'm kind of lost thought. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, but your leader puts on an American flag. Make America Great Again hat. She's a lesbian. She's not even 100% black. Like, gee, this is what that boggles my mind because black folks they march for civil rights. Why are you marching for civil rights? Aren't you supposed to be marching for black rights? You cannot. And that's how come African Americans are always saying, "Oh, the 14th Amendment is for us and civil rights is for us." It's not for you if your name is not in the law. It does not apply to you. We have to stop that. Let's be intellectually honest here. Civil rights was for women and sexuality, I guess, and race, and it was against racism. That's what civil rights was for. That's why the law passed. It was nothing specifically for African American people. So, white people, when Ann Coulter say civil rights is for blacks in America, she's using you as a battering ram to break into the house. You know how police got the battering ram to break down the door to go catch some illegal immigrants? That's
You're
what they're
using
doing.
us as a tool.
Yeah, they're using you as a tool. They're using you to sweep up the immigrant dust on the ground. She's
Yeah,
using
she
you as a broom.
Yeah,
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 so
yeah. So that I mean, I've always thought about that, man, as a strategic move.
that's what it
I think
is.
it's a strategic alliance because I
No,
think in the campaign you're going to start to hear a lot more about anchor babies. You're going to start to hear about. It's not. I mean, they're going to open up the conversation, and under the guise of them going after the illegal immigrants, but I think sooner or later it's going to be turned around on people like me and you. So, like, we were born in America, but our parents were not born in America. So they're going to start to question our status. And I think that's for maybe like a Trump Republican and like a Trump
all right.
supporter.
You
I think
talking
that's
about
a
the 14th
winning.
Amendment?
Yeah. But
Okay,
that's a winning issue for them. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And they can use black people to have that conversation because the people that like the ADOS people that already have resentment towards us are going to be on the side of Trump supporters on that. So I think they're going to start questioning our status and
Right,
not
right,
the
right.
not the Mexican status or the Nicaraguan status, but the
Oh, the
black immigrant
European.
status.
The
But you know
European.
what? What I was trying to tell you earlier was, like this white Latino. He keeps saying you just talking shit about the white boy, and he said he's brown. He's the whitest daylight, and he said that they're using a status that black people should be using. White Latinos. Don't you hear a lot of them talk about they brown? They brown. There's only a few of them that might be brown, but a lot of them are white.
Mm-hmm.
They're using a title that African Americans should be using. That's what I was trying to say.
But I think they're gonna. I mean, I will be. I will not be surprised if that becomes an issue, and somebody's gonna bring that up. and it's going to be specifically used to target what we call black immigrants. The 14th Amendment conversation, because the interpretation, does it say anywhere that it's, I mean, I haven't read the amendment, but does it say specifically African slave, children of African people? Does it say that specifically in there, or does it just say if you were born here?
The law states all persons born or naturalized and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's the word they try to hang on us, because if our parents come here illegally, we're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But I ask, if a baby is born in America, how can it be subject to the jurisdiction of the nation its parents are from? Because in that same law, it doesn't identify whether if the parents are born in America or not. So I think white people understand that law is as clear as day. It makes you American citizen no matter where your parents are from if you're born on this soil. The thing is that white people are using African Americans to muddy up the, create new talking points or scare immigrants and stuff like that. That's all that's for.
Yeah, I think
But
that's a white supremacist tactic. You put a blackface,
yeah,
you just put a blackface on it, and you know, I guess you would hear it better. You won't seem as racist if you put a blackface on it.
Yeah,
right. That's all that is because
you can
And
take
they
that.
also, the Trump administration actually, Dr. Claude Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
right.
they went to reach out to him to
Who'd you say?
Dr. Claude Anderson. The Trump administration reached out to him because they wanted to speak to him about the 14th Amendment, because he also believes that it's only for Black Americans. So they want to reach out to him, which he declined, but he just sent them a letter, giving his thoughts on it. So that's just another example of them trying to use blackface to get their point across, or they get
No,
their agenda across.
no, I mean, all they got to do is write a big enough check. What they
Right.
didn't, what did Dr. Anderson probably didn't tell you is how much they
You didn't say
offered
his
him.
first name, brother.
hey, hey, you know what? They didn't ask. They didn't. He probably didn't tell you how big of a check that they get. He probably negotiated. You know what I'm saying? He was with Boyce Watkins. You know what I'm saying? He probably be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna turn him down this time. In the letter, we're gonna hint. You know what? If the price is right, guess what? I'm with you, homie. Aunt Jams put a good point in the chat room. Say Black Americans are turning against each other based on the shade of black. Hasn't that happened before? Back in the back in the day when other reparations or other handouts were and then everybody was separated by the color of their skin or their shade of their skin. Hasn't that been
It's a
happening
bad
all
system.
through history? But
Yeah.
they say history repeats itself. So shout out to Aunt Jams for bringing that up. So are we going to have you think we're going to have another brown paper bag test soon?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that's with the ADOS thing. I was thinking somebody might bring that up
Yeah,
as far as
man.
who gets or whatnot.
Yeah, because wasn't HBCUs, that whole movement that was started by white people, wasn't that supposed to be a form of reparations? Because you had illiterate slaves, you had people that it was illegal for them to be educated. They started schools to repair the intelligence level of the Negro. And we find out that it was only meant for the slave masters' illegitimate kids. So you had to be a certain skin tone to be able to take advantage of those things. Do you think that something like that is around the corner? What do you guys think? Because I think so too. I think as soon as they can get enough a pool of white people and also Irish people, which were claimed to be slaves too, into the pool of ADOS, I think that 30 million, when it becomes like you know, 200 to 300 million of people that qualify for it when it becomes insignificant, where it becomes like a check like Obama gave like $400. You remember a couple years ago? I think that's when that shit's gonna pass.
Okay, now the reparation talk is behind us. That's exactly what they're going to do. That's how come I'm against reparations. Period, man. We have opportunity to build up something.
They gonna start doing everything just with some reparations. That shit might
hey,
never come. It
hey,
might
what
never come.
hey, what's gonna happen, dog, when that guy when they give the reparations check and then they get to go get their check, right? And all of a
Hey,
sudden the white man be like, hey, you know what? You owe about 10 years of child support or 20 years of child support. Hey, hey, you
over
got
there.
some warrants for your arrest. You know what I'm saying? You got some warrants for your arrest. Oh, okay. How old was your baby mama? Oh, she was 14 years old when you first had your child. Oh, and how old were you? Come on, man. That
We're gonna
shit.
give it back to the white man.
Black folks will be in a worse financial position after reparations than before. Please believe that.
Hey,
Please believe
after
that.
you take the interest and penalties, because hey, you haven't filed your taxes in 10 years. So
Right.
guess what? You owe us now.
Listen, if they got to write you a check, they're going to scan your whole life to see where you owe money. They will call some Negroes to come and pick up their check and they'll see a bill for
Wow.
minors. You know, believe me, they're going to be changing some laws. If they did mail out checks or whatever, they're going to be changing some laws before that happens. Remember, they lock Mike Vick up for a crime for something that wasn't even a crime when he did it. They created the law just to lock him up. So, like black folks think that we living with a completely group of different people now. They completely reparations. I'll forget about the past as long as you write me a check. Man, that's a blood debt. You can't. There's no amount of money in this world to replace what was done to my ancestors. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't.
I think
Another thing,
everybody
another thing
just
I thought.
latched on to the word check. You know what? Their group has already been infiltrated by one. As soon as they heard ching ching, yeah, oh, God. Oh, I'm for you guys now.
What you finna say, brother?
I was thinking that I was also thinking that if it does happen, that might be they might want you to collect. They might want to collect DNA to prove, and then they'll have a DNA database, and then they could use that for malicious purposes if they have a database
Right,
of all these black people.
But they
right.
can bring that up by surnames also. If you were a slave,
Hey,
surname.
name one thing.
Nah. You gotta prove again. Black people were free in America. Not every black person in America was a slave during slave days. That's
Right,
just not true.
right.
Black people were free. Like I just said, 13,000 black folks came to Haiti during slavery because slavery was abolished in 1865. 13,000 black folks came to Haiti in 1825.
Bro,
So,
bro, check this
yo,
out, man. There's people right now waiting on income tax checks that think it's free money. They
Yeah,
they
wow.
feel like no, like hey, so the government taxed you for money that you worked for, right? And they're giving it back to you, and you think it's free money. There's no such thing as free money, dog.
you
You
know
know,
what?
the easy money is going to be the hardest money that you ever fucking work for in your goddamn life, dog. Like
Or
it.
reparations is going to be. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, there's no such thing as free money. You know what I'm saying? You guys might
No,
see
there,
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Dave Chappelle. You know the reparations, like everybody getting their reparations checks and shit like that. That shit
yeah.
is a land of milk and honey, dog. It'll never happen.
Yeah, brother. Another form of reparations that I wouldn't be surprised that white folks do is give them reparations in the form of loans. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we'll give you
government
business loans
loans,
and shit like
student
that.
loans.
Right, right. It's a trap. It's always a trap. It's all this reparations talk. Us discussing reparations is a trap. Like I said, when white folks wanted something done, when they wanted to build a country, they went and they stole our ancestors. You don't
Do
just
you
sit.
think they have already given back reparations, but not in the form of money.
There's, there's no way they could ever give it back. In order for them to give it back, they would have to be our slaves. There's no way for them to give it back. There's absolutely no way for them to give it back. You're talking about all the debt, the sweat, the blood, the people who died on land in the waters, and the land. You even giving back the land. There's no way they could give it back. They
Yeah,
would. Every white
money
person in the
can't
world would
replace
have to be
people.
broke.
Money
Was
can't
that?
replace people. Yeah,
I can't hear you.
I said money can't replace people.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
And
So
saying give me a check is not even enough. That's not even enough.
if they white people should do it in their benefit because the rest of reparations talk would be over with. Because like, hey, we already gave y'all reparations. It's gonna say reparations check to everybody's name.
But
Even if it's for
the
five
Jews
thousand.
took most of that money. They took when they was giving out reparations to Native Americans, they gave them land. They didn't really give them, money. They gave them land.
Mm-mm. No, they
Yeah.
gave them land, but let's keep it 100 though. Let's look at their state. Look at their state, how they are right now. Disease, they got poverty. Sure they get that little $5,000 check, but why are they so poverty stricken and drug infested and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, they gave them bad. They gave them like, well, there was a big amount of land, and also they didn't give them actual control, sovereignty over their land. So a lot of it came with strings attached.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, why are they? I mean, that didn't make any sense a couple of years ago where they were protesting because of this pipeline that they're going to put in through their community and stuff like that. If they owned all the land and they controlled it and stuff like that, how did the federal government just say, "Hey, you know what? We're going to put a pipeline through here"?
You got sovereignty, niggas. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. You got sovereignty, but I'm finna run the pipeline through y'all land.
And pollute.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword.
Well, yeah, that's when you make a deal with the devil, you better be more concerned of what's attached to the deal than the deal itself.
Yeah, I think with America, as if it's not Israel, anything they give is going to have some strings attached.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, gonna have its ifs and its buts. Yeah.
If anything, I mean, that's another thing I was like thinking about. This whole reparations thing. The like for instance, the Jews, they got Israel. It's like we there's a whole model of how to get
Give reversion, yeah.
reparations. How come I mean, are we that dumb and stupid? I mean, excuse my folks, that deaf, dumb, and blind to where we can't use the same model as they use, because in court, like for instance, when you go to court, right? A lot of times your lawyer is looking for case law. They're looking for legal precedent. There's been
Yeah.
legal precedent, and that was through like the United Nations. And like, what's crazy about that? Like somebody like Tariq, and I don't want to keep giving them light. He talked about this a long time ago in the show because I used to, listen to it, that we should go to the United Nations because the United Nations has a lot more power than like the U.S. government, to get stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like, how the hell are we not choosing a route like that instead of we're going to, what are they doing? They're proposing a bill to some coon like congressman in like the Congressional Black Caucus to try to get this done. How is that even feasible?
They're trying to study.
Going,
They're trying to study the effects of slavery right now.
shouldn't we be going as Africans to the United Nations and kind of forcing the United Nations hand?
But it's like the United Nations, like they'll have all that power for everybody else, but not really to them the United States, because I mean they don't really have an army to enforce anything to do. This country has like been through so many illegal wars, and yet nothing has been done.
Right.
You know,
But we
big,
gave them land. I mean, they gave them a holy land. They also funded their army. Shouldn't we be using that type of model? Because if you look at the reach in the just the sheer numbers of African people, shouldn't we be able to force that on them? Because they have, I mean, just if you look at the African Union, they have all kinds of bases everywhere. They have all kinds of bases everywhere, and mostly in colored people's lands. Shouldn't like all the leaders of those people should be like, hey, you know what? We need to kind of band together and be like, hey, you know what? United States, unless you give us some type of thing like Israel, a deal like Israel, we're not going to let you be here. Maybe we just don't have the firepower to do that. I don't know. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Are we talking about in Africa?
Yeah, I'm just talking about because they have military bases everywhere, right? And all through Africa, and they got. I guess all the African leaders are puppet leaders. So
Yeah,
let me
they're
see.
puppets.
They're all puppets. So
Yeah, the African Union is not really African. It's a UN tool.
right.
So,
Yeah, it's not. I was gonna say because Gaddafi kind of did say, and look what happened to him, and nobody
yeah.
else stood up for him. So I
A
guess
lot of those African leaders are like Masons and stuff like that. So if you're a Mason, you got more allegiance to your brotherhood than your own nation anyway. So um, they, it's going to be a tough fight uphill for Africa to, because I'm gonna be honest, Africa's not broke, Haiti's not broke, Jamaica's not broke. All black nations are not broke. The main reason why we're not broke is because black nations, their lands have natural resources. If
The,
black nations got off of this economy, the European economy, they would not be broke.
hey, somebody's hacking my freaking page.
Really, what's up?
Somebody's playing games with me because I've seen this happen to somebody else before on their YouTube channel. My channel's flicking back and forth, back and forth. So somebody from the room or somebody's got butthurt and they're fucking with me right now.
Yeah,
No, it
once they
should be
get you,
just YouTube. Remember, when we do these lives and shit like that, they're listening to us about what we talk about.
Okay.
Like I was in a girl, her name is Lady Snoop on here, and they were doing the same thing, like mess with the channel and shit.
Yeah. I guess we're talking. I mean, we may. Oh, I said Israel. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
That's
you said
not
the key word. You said
Oh,
it.
Israel.
it's the artificial intelligence. You know,
Yeah.
Leon Core is like one of the leaders of YouTube now, YouTube Music. Oh, that was a trigger word right there, Israel. That's why, like those other guys, like you know what I'm saying, like those famous people, they never say anything about Israel. They never say anything about those type of things because that's called.
After what Palestine and shit, I bet you that's another trigger word.
Oh, okay. Hey, so if we drop off, man, you already know what it is, man. Hey, man, but it's flickering back and forth. So I'm assuming they're probably going to end the stream pretty soon. So it stopped. Did somebody say Israel again? Oh, okay. It's you guys still hear me, right?
Weird.
But no, I mean on my lead page, it's flickering back and forth, and I've seen this happen to somebody else before. I think we were talking about it. We didn't say anything bad about Israel. We just said, won't we use the same model? So maybe somebody got butthurt.
They don't like that. They don't. They don't like. That's a good idea to use another model, but you see when you said that, your shit start flickering. Like, yeah, they on here listening to us right now.
Yeah, I mean, the ADOS. If you think about it, man, using that type of model. I mean, especially with the 1.3 $3 trillion in spending power that you will be able to take away from the U.S. government, especially if you were able to get some type of ruling or find some type of homeland internationally. Man, that would freaking put a hurting on the U.S. economy. What do you think? That would that's how you really play chess right there. But I mean, are we even capable of playing multi-dimensional chess?
That's hard to say, man.
Who did the Trump administration call when they're talking about the 14th Amendment? I mean,
somebody's messing with me, man, right now.
yeah.
Hey, you guys, we took it back. We didn't say anything about Israel, dog. You know what I'm saying?
But you know they're listening in on all things that we put are like these cell phones, like like me and my cousin and a few more. We got on the Xbox One and we start talking about some real shit about black and gunmen and shit. They kicked out everybody out the chat because they don't want us to talk about that shit. Certain shit trigger shit for whites to kick you off of all electronical devices.
Okay.
Like we were talking about something like similar to what we are talking about, and they kicked everybody out in the chat because they listen to all of us on all this shit, this YouTube, all of this shit.
let's let's think about this, right? What if white people knew that they were never going to give black folks reparations, but they allowed us to talk about it, right? So look at all the energy black folks spent on this reparations debate. You see how much energy and time we spent on this? If they knew that they were never going to give it to black folks, but we spent so much energy talking about it, wasted energy. Think about that. Versus because I don't believe you should ever ask for something, or you should at least ask for it with some type of authority or some type of power with it behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ain't got none of that, then you're always going to lose because they could determine how big of a piece of pie they want to give you. You know, you can't ask for half the pie. They might even give you a piece of crumb off the bread.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about this whole this whole Bernie thing, is because if you want to sabotage Bernie and you want to, I mean, if you want to sabotage Bernie, but yet you want Trump to win, Trump hasn't even campaigned for your vote at all. He won the election without having a very small percentage of your vote. He feels like he probably, I mean, knowing him, he probably feels like he doesn't need your vote. If he wins, how the hell do you have any leverage? Period. What do you have leverage on? I mean, you can't beg him. I mean, if you beg him, he's just going to just like, you know what? I got my turn. I mean, I'm in already here. Kiss my ass. I mean, what type of leverage do you have to get reparations and shit like that from somebody like Trump?
Well, I mean, as far as this, at this moment, this is kind of a good leverage to get the conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like Trump is kind of like your hostage weapon, and then you force him to press to even talk about it.
But I'm just saying, this is the thing. Is like we're holding Bernie's feet to the fire. We're hurling all these people feet to the fire, but we're not like holding him at all. I'm just saying, if all he has to do is just pretty much ride it out, right? If I was him, why would I even come to the negotiating table with you guys when you guys are going to do all my work for me?
Well, he's going to win regardless.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna ask him for it because I don't think he's gonna do it. But so it's just kind of like a way to force the conversation,
But I'm just saying, but we're talking about tangibles though. But how is that a tangible thing? Is that sounds like a symbolic thing to me? I mean,
think about it, brother. You're not going to vote for Bernie, and you're not going to vote for Trump. You might as well stay home. Thus, This couldn't be more better for the conservatives or for white supremacy, quote
I'm sure they, I'm
unquote.
sure they, I'm sure they're loving it because they know it's not going. I'm sure they have a good inclination that it's probably not going to happen.
Right. But I'm just saying the people that are going the tangible route, they're talking about this tangible 2020. How is this strategy I mean, where's the tangible strategy to get tangible?
Another thing I have a problem with is so when they talk about tangibles and like people only want to hear I want to give you $100,000 each black person. That's all they want to hear. But anytime anybody brings up, I want to do some real prison reform, like you need that because the prison system is targeting black people. You need
Exactly.
to take away the private prisons, and people get offended by that. But you need that. That is part of a black agenda.
That is
You need
no, brother. You're absolutely right about that. I was like, listen, if you are talking about reparations and shit like that, you have the private industry. I mean, you have the private prison industry, where are owned by corporations. They are documented of oppressing black people. Each individual that's been through that prison system has a claim against that prison system, right or wrong?
right.
How come we're not getting these Antonio Moores all through the fucking country and representing people that's been wronged by the prison system and suing the corporations that own the prisons because they have the blood all over their hands in profit,
And
right
then
or wrong?
basically slavery too.
In slavery too, right? We can identify them. We can identify those insurance companies that insured all those slaves that came over to the United States, right or
Man,
wrong?
Bank of America, Chase, all of these banks, sure.
We can identify them. So how come people are not talking about? You know why? Because you know why? Because that guy, he was a UCLA grad. So I'm not even going to say. I don't even know what organizations is, but he runs. He probably rubs elbows with a lot of people that have a lot of power. That even if he opened his mouth and said something like that, he'll be blackballed. That's the reason why. So I mean, wouldn't that be a real tangible route if I went through the prison system, right? Or I had a father that went through the prison system and died? Wouldn't I have a real tangible claim against the prison?
Yeah, especially
Against
if
the
that person was
corporation?
illegally was wrongly accused and they were knowingly wrongfully accused.
Right.
Things like that.
It happens all the time. If you want to talk about the prison industrial complex, there it is right there. But how come they're not talking about? They're talking about suing a bankrupt government, which doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. I mean, please, you legal experts, tell me how the hell that makes any goddamn sense without Negro splaining, without backbiting, without telling me to hold my own nuts and my berries and all that type of shit. Tell me how the hell is that happening? You're telling me to sue a bankrupt government, and you're asking another corporation to pay me for it. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the money ain't there.
Nah, man.
I mean, they could print it, but it's just not. They could put it on America's credit card, but
but the funny thing is, like, in order, like, if everybody got that money, in order to keep that money, in order to keep it, at the value, let it hold value, you have to keep the system, the United States system of oppression going. So, like, if everybody get reparations, or black people get reparations, you have to continue this system of wars in order to keep the system going.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we do have you do have to have a perpetual underclass. So if you give these Negroes, money and and close the wealth gap, which The wealth gap doesn't. I mean, that shit doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Which, it's how the hell do you have? I mean, a wealth gap that large when you have 42. You only have $41 million. I mean, 41 million people spending more than everybody else. How the hell does that happen?
We live in a country where the more white people you live by, the more value your house is worth.
Right.
You know, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Money follows white people. It does not follow black people. Just to even be around them, you're gonna make money. This is something we're gonna have to untangle, and it's gonna take fucking forever. We have to find value in ourselves first.
No, absolutely, but we got to be strategic about it. I mean, dog, you could be like, hey, you know what? Like, what if all black people right now banded together and all the niggas that just took their gold chain and freaking melted that shit down to gold and held gold bars and took the gold out of the goddamn market? That would fucking change a whole bunch of shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, could you even get 10% of niggas on the same page where they would even do that?
No.
It's hard.
Huh?
No.
Hard.
That's our biggest problem is our unity. Our unity is a bigger problem than white supremacy. We are our own biggest enemy. The white man ain't even closer of a threat than we are to each other. That sounds like some cool shit to say. But we are more of a threat to one another because we live in a system where everyone has unity except for us. Think about what kind of condition that puts us in.
Exactly, dog. We hate each other so much that it only takes about 6 hours for your dollar to get the fuck up out of your community. Like, the dollar runs from niggas. Isn't that crazy?
It actually runs to niggas because niggas gonna be quickly to give it away. You know what I'm saying? So, but we are so fast just to give it. Oh, here, there you go. Oh, I ain't finna give it to that nigga. But here, Asian man, Asian woman. You know, since when I ate some Chinese food? I can't even tell you. It's been years, and I love that.
Yeah, eat that shit. That should be dog and rat and shit. You be wondering why people got missing dog signs on the motherfuckers cooking dogs and shit. And a poodle's leg and shit. What the fuck? Piece of hair? No, I don't eat that shit. Like, I'd be scared. Like, me and my mom went to go buy some Chinese food, right? And she brought it back. And she was like, this shit is chewy. It don't taste like meat and shit. Like,
it don't.
Dog, imagine, dog, what one of the things I wanted to find out, man, imagine if those niggas, all these ADOS niggas got that check, right? But they weren't allowed to go to the strip club with all these Caribbean bitches and all these these bitches that are not ADOS.
The way they would trick it away, niggas everybody would be iced out here and shit. Like,
we'll give you the check, but you can't trick it off on no big booty Caribbean bitches, dog. Those niggas are probably losing their goddamn mind, dog. No, actually, they would. Becky would. They would make Becky. Becky. I mean, I think white bitches would start getting big asses even more to take the niggas' money.
They were sending Becky to brothers because Becky gonna be able to get that money, finesse them.
Those niggas.
All we would do was end up giving it back to the white man. He would just get it back. That's all.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I don't support money, like cash payments. Like, I already see that happening.
And you know, the U.S. dollar is not even backed off the gold reserve anymore, so it's meaningless. Like
it's a fiat currency.
The dollar is backed on war and exploitation. That's what it's backed on.
It's backed on war. They say they call it a petrodollar. It ain't even backed off the oil. It's backed off of war. Whoever has the biggest gun, if we had the biggest gun in the world, we could say a gallon of water in Africa is worth more than 10 pounds of gold, and it could be law. That could be true. Whoever has the biggest gun get to say what the currency is.
Well, over there in Africa, like you know how they're going at it with Chinese, them people coming over there mining and shit. They taking black diamonds, they taking shit out of, you know what I mean? Other resources like diamonds and shit, and that's how they're making their money.
Do we really have the biggest gun? You think still? I don't know. Question, man. Because I don't know if we have the biggest gun because motherfucker, all that shit that Trump was talking, before all that big talk, and all of a sudden he's having meetings with fucking Kim Jong-il, like somebody that, and we're begging them not to fucking have nuclear programs, because their economy, I think, is largely based on China.
Yeah. One thing when it comes to politics, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. They're gonna do this. There's a face to everything, but behind closed doors, man, like again, you don't want to see how the sausage is made, man. You don't.
I know, but I'm just saying, is like if we're supposedly got big enough nuts to where we can, take them out anytime we want to. Why the fuck are we playing with them though? That's the thing. If we got big nuts like that, why are we playing with a person like North Korea? Why?
Because it's like slavery, right? Slavery had to end because America so-called wanted to get into the modern, economy and stuff like that. So that would just not look good. You can't compete against nations that don't have slave and you got free slave labor. You can't do that. So now you're gonna have to do the Emancipation Proclamation, to end slavery, quote unquote. To have a better face. It's all for face. It's all for face. I mean, because remember, Obama went up in Libya and lit that motherfucker up. So, sorry to curse again, but yeah, I mean.
You see what we're trying to do to Venezuela? They pulled off the dollar, and you see what we're doing right now. Right.
And you have the people going against their own government in Venezuela, because they don't understand what's going on. And we had that.
In Venezuela, that's some fuck ass shit. Excuse me, but because it's just like they didn't even have an election. That's why they over there going crazy, because they didn't. This motherfucker just said, "I'm gonna be president." Like any random motherfucker, I'm gonna just be president of the United States. I'm gonna be president of Venezuela. Y'all can't elect shit. That's why they're going crazy over there in Venezuela.
So he just said that he's gonna. I mean, but he's a U.S. puppet too, right?
Yeah, he was trained in America.
Yeah.
Well, we are
go over there and become president.
Boy. America is some hardcore gangsters, boy.
Well, this is the thing.
ADOS, man, you are trying to finesse, not even finesse, but you're trying to bully a hardcore gangster, straight up hardcore gangster that's killed billions of people into some fucking money. I guess you're the child of this hardcore gangster, but you're demanding money from this hardcore gangster. I mean, where do they do that at?
Just think, you of all of this tampering America's doing in other governments, and to think again that why would people leave their own home country to come to America? Why would I leave my family, everything I knew, just to come here? And you're telling me, oh, we can't have none of y'all benefits. Y'all never, ADOS, one thing ADOS has never have to do is leave their family, their language, their money, everything behind where their whole ancestors were buried to go to another country for a better life. That's something they never had to do. But then when black immigrants come over here, oh, none of that. Meanwhile, it was your government that destroyed my country.
Boy, what happened, man? That one lady, dog. That one lady. What is his name? Some Omar, dog. I mean, I don't really get into politics, but
Ilhan,
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar.
yeah, I heard that she had people feeling some type of way because she's Somalian, and she basically called America. I
Oh
think she
yeah,
basically
CNN
called
was
America.
ridiculing her last night. It was trying to put it on her and shit because
Yeah,
she's
that
a
she
black
called
woman.
American. She called America like warmongers or some shit like that,
Yeah,
and
and the Israel shit. That's why I think your shit was fucking with you earlier because she did
She was,
meant that. That's a hot topic right now in the news right now.
oh
she was calling out Obama. She just called out Obama. What he
Really?
did. Yeah, she called out Obama for what he did in Africa. It just said he was a bad president, pretty much.
they're upset about it too, right?
Yeah,
Well, Obama's a puppet and shit. He did shit for gays, but he didn't do shit for nobody else. What he gave us? Some free cell phones?
Hmm.
That's all he gave.
Hey, no, hold on, man. One of the things I wanted to talk about too, man, because one of the talking points of the ADOS, man, and thank you so much, Mark, man. I know you're ADOS, but you know what I'm saying, you still family, man. But let's talk about coon for coon. Like they always say that there's more Caribbean and African coons than actual ADOS coons. Is that true? How can that
No,
be true?
I think it's even because my mother coon, but that's still my mom at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like I got a my dad kind of like a coon and shit. Like we were talking about black people because I do a lot of activism, and he was like, "I ain't about to die for all black people." I'm like, oh. he- Everybody got a little bit of coon in them, man. Like before we even knew about racism and what we were, all of us were here were coons before we knew
I
about race.
I think I think the number's going to be off a little bit versus blacks who are here in America versus blacks who come from black nation because that's all they see is black people, and they
yeah.
are living in a nation where African Americans, the same people who enslaved them, they still live with them here and they get to see shit like Trayvon Martin and shit like that. So that shit sobers you up real fucking fast. Excuse my language, real quick when you see stuff like that. So in black nations, we just see black people victimizing black folks. When you come over here, you get to see what was going on, at least remnants of what was going on, hundreds of years ago. So yeah, I would expect African Americans to be. I would expect less coons to be African American versus from black nations.
Yeah, you know what? Now I think about it, though, is like my experience. Growing up in America, I can see. I mean, I'll give them a little bit of credit on how it's different because a lot of the stain of slavery wasn't really on me because my parents really didn't. I didn't live in that paradigm. I didn't really because there's a scarcity paradigm that a lot of Americans live in. And I don't think that's a natural African thing because if you look at where we come from in Africa, it's all about abundance. But when you look at Europe, it's scarcity. Because they're in the mountains and the caves and all that type of shit, so they wasn't able to eat year round. I'm just Hidden Colors. That's where I got that from, Hidden Colors. But I didn't really come up with that scarcity mindset. I always looked at the world as one big ass opportunity, and I guess as an immigrant, that is one of the mindsets that's a little bit different. I think that's one of the things that made us different. You know what I'm saying? And and we always kind of looked at we never took. I mean, I never felt like I took things for granted. You know what I'm saying? I almost kind of like every opportunity because my dad was like every opportunity that he can get a hold of, he was trying to take it. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to take advantage of it. He was like shout out to my dad, man. Rest in peace, man. But he was almost like a Nigerian. Like any way that he can get over, he was getting over. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like the opportunist in his. It was just in his in it because he was. You know how they are. We're as Haitians, we're in survival mode. You know, because where we come from. You know, we're always thinking about how we're gonna, get that next meal. And I think that's one of the biggest differences that Caribbean folks and African folks have. And I guess how do you really? I mean, I guess from their perspective, I can understand how they probably have a little bit of beef with us because of that, because they were always.
Well, for me, growing up here, like my mom, my mother was a softball star for her country, and she beat United States. That's how she got over here. For me, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's story from the Caribbean is different. I can't just say one particular story,
We have a white supremacist in here. The white supremacist says that
I can't see the chat, so I don't know who in here.
off of black slaves. My question is who was the farmers and businessmen or architects? Where is their credit? So we should give the Arabs. I mean, who should we give credit to? The white people. Okay, there's a white supremacist in the room, wanting to get credit for white people. So, do you guys deserve reparations too? You need a pat on the back. Is that what it is? You need a pat on the back for being a slave master.
What did he say in the chat?
He said in the chat that where's the credit for the businessmen and the farmers? That's the question.
Why don't you go back to a cave for us? That's what the Caribbeans think.
Hey, you know,
a cold rabbit or some shit.
You know, back in slavery times, it was hard. They really couldn't stay in the islands for that long. No more than, I think it's 6 months or more, up to a year, but they just couldn't stay there that long. They were really dying.
6 months, you could stay out of the year.
What's that?
Yeah, internationally, it's only 6 months you could stay in a country.
No. I'm talking about white folks in the island.
Oh.
Like the sun was killing them. Right. Literally killing them. So
it's crazy, dog, how how you can put was it off the coast of Africa, you can put a tennis ball in the water and it'll end up in the Caribbean just by the stream. And somehow we believe that they have a whole nation believing that Christopher Columbus was the first person from that other world that came over here
on a boat. Right?
On a boat.
It was other explorers. It was other explorers than just the white man. But you know what?
Absolutely. I'm just saying, you could put a tennis ball. You don't need no navigation. You don't need no nothing. You could put a tennis ball, and it will end up in the Caribbean.
That's Caribbean.
Huh?
I never heard of that. No, that's why.
What's it? The transatlantic trade, the Gulf Stream or whatever. All it does is follow the current.
I'll prove it. Look at the hurricanes. Look, it comes from Africa and it comes straight through the Caribbean. So yeah. I believe it.
How the hell did they convince a whole nation of people that this is what happened? Like, this guy is the first one that came over here and discovered unique roads.
Yeah, you indoctrinate people through the education process.
You know who came before Columbus? It was a one called Vespucci. You could type him up. He
Amerigo Vespucci.
Yeah, and then there's another one who founded the slave trade. I think he got a Spanish name because white Spaniards introduced slavery to white people in America. They were the first one I got Spain in my test on my DNA. So that means Spain was involved with my slavery. Spain, England, and France came up in my DNA test.
No, I'm just saying that the whole I guess if you can trick people into believing that shit, I think you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Trick them into believing what?
That Christopher Columbus discovered the fucking Americas.
Oh, yeah. Or black folks wasn't here before they came.
Yeah, no. I was like, who else? If you have this kind of climate, you know how the world works. It's like, who the fuck else could survive in that climate?
And also, how can it just be white in the desert?
Yeah.
Or they put a white Jesus in the Bible.
I just
crackers.
I live in South Florida. If you a white Spaniard discovered Florida. Was his name Ponce de Leon or some shit like that?
Yeah, right. he founded the slave trade.
How the hell did that? I mean, I guess you got to give credit. I mean, like, they want to take credit for everything, but how is that humanly possible? Because who, besides Indians, who has the melanin or the skin that could survive that region for generations and generations?
You mean in Virgin Islands? Well, Virgin Islands is white. That's white.
I'm just saying, but anywhere in the Caribbean, who? I mean, if you look at it from just a biological standpoint, who could have survived those islands in those that climate for centuries and centuries?
Or people.
Huh?
Or people.
No, I'm talking about what color would they have to have been to survive all those generations?
Dark.
Basically,
because over there in the Caribbean, like when you get up in the morning over there in Belize, it's hot as shit. And it's like I told my grandma, it feel like a different type of sun than what we feel out here. Like you're closer to the earth. That's the reason. But yeah, black people, we the only one that can survive that temperature.
And a quick comment going right back to ADOS. ADOS, let's say African Americans only make up 40 million people. The black world population is about 1 billion. Like, think of the black world.
13% that they tell everybody that they are 13%. Yeah, we're
Say it again.
13. I said we're more than 13 if you count everybody
around the world.
Yeah, because they only counting like on the census. They only count African Americans. They don't count all black people.
You're talking about in America. They said black people are worth about 14%. I dispute those numbers too. I don't think that's
yeah. I think a lot of people just don't go take the census. So
because when they send that to my house, I don't even fill it out, so they wouldn't count me.
You even got Somalians or Ethiopians who claim white, Caucasian. You got certain people who are from Africa who claim Caucasian.
I'm okay with that, right? Because I'm okay with that because I think everybody needs a chance to get ahead because they know they're not niggas. Now, when you start going against black folks as if you're white, then I got a problem with that. But I remember there was a story about this Egyptian. He was dark like me, an Egyptian brother. He was a Negro. He was educated in Egypt, but they had to classify him as white when he came here to America. So, but like, just to set the record straight, a dark-skinned Haitian can't come from Haiti and come to America and identify as white. Those are for certain regions, nations that have a black population.
Yeah, imagine, like, for instance, Sotomayor. What do you think, like Tommy Sotomayor? What do you think that he checks on the census? White or black?
He claims black. He claims black. He knows he's a black man.
Or what was that show? About O'Shea Jackson's show where's that guy ABL? What do you think ABL claims? Is he black or other?
I think he's claiming crossbreed or something.
He just
Claiming crossbreed.
ABL checks honorary Caucasian.
MAGA. No, MAGA. This
I think it's select black and white. I'm just like both. Oh shit. No, but that nigga's a real coon and shit. Like, if I ever see you, man, I ain't gonna say it, but man.
Hey, but the thing is I wonder if the ADOS have made made other coons uncomfortable, because a lot of people the ADOS came out cooning real hard, but you have like some hardcore coons that have been like anti-immigrant, they've been anti-immigration, and they've been that, and they've been against like ADOS type people. So I wonder if putting like some of those coons in a pickle, because like somebody like ABL, I don't think he wants to really agree with like the average black folk. I think because he's always like whatever if you mention anything black, he hates it. He can't stand black people. But now you have
that goes back to what I said about black, brown, white. You know what I mean? These are just color constructs and shit. But
I'm just saying he goes so hard not to agree with anything that other like people of his skin tone or black says. I wonder what is he feeling, because now he has to agree. Like, he has a whole bunch of black people that he's kind of forced to agree with. I wonder if that shit's making him uncomfortable.
Yeah, in a way, because like when you look at O'Shea's panels and when he's on there, he always the one that call out the elephant in the room and shit. You know what I mean? Where he makes a white argument. Everything that you combat him with is a white argument.
But he can't really do that right now because like all like the ADOS people, which is like I think his show is pro ADOS, they're all on his side and he can't really disagree with them. I wonder if that shit really making them uncomfortable.
What is he anyway? He's a Republican. He's a conservative. What? Like, I don't know.
He's just anti anything that Negroes want. Like, he just doesn't want. Like, he just don't want you to have. He's like Sambo's like apprentice.
You know what? He's one of them dudes that grew up in a white community. He grew up in a white community. Don't you hear how we talk? Yeah.
No, I mean I disagree. I think he grew up in the black community, and I think that's why he has so much disdain for other blacks. I think that's what it is. I think as soon as he got a chance to get the fuck up out of there, you know what I'm saying? Just like all those other niggas, take off the fucking Poland, but you're fucking pro-black. Come on, man, get the fuck out of here.
Like probably one of them dudes who was like a nerd and got made fun of.
Yeah, the one the one that got like punked all the time and shit. Like, why you talk like that? Like you be in school. Why you talk like a white boy? You know what I mean? Like, get teased by other little kids, and that's how it looks like. That's how he is. Like somebody black did something to him for him to feel like that way.
Or that one dude, dog. That one dude that hates black women, dog. That nigga right there, boy.
I mean, like, it's cool to talk about women, but all day, every day, all year, nigga, like, I'm about to be talking about, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense sometimes, this whole YouTube thing and shit.
Yeah, that's one of black men's biggest problems is we love talking about women as if, I mean, that does nothing for us, man. That does absolutely nothing for us. Does black female fuckery exist? Of course it does. But listen, as long as we make black men better, there's nothing we need to talk about. We just need to be focused on making black men better. And that's it, man. It's just fucking keep it moving. And
Hey, dog, this shit, you know how this shit is getting serious, dog? I saw a fucking show yesterday with this girl Paris Milan and O'Shea Jackson. They're considered like there was a debate whether or not when Black Americans get with like Nigerians or Haitians or whatever? Is that considered swirling?
That's the most dumbest thing I ever heard, man.
Oh,
Hey, guess what?
I
Guess
had
what?
a
All of
conversation.
y'all brothers, on the line are swellers. Then, if that's the case, you know what I'm saying?
I had a conversation with my wife about that like 2 days ago. She was saying we mixed. I was like, we ain't mixed. Stop that.
Who said? Oh, your wife said that?
Yeah, no, she Haitian, and she said we mixed. I was like, no, we ain't mixed. We black.
She light skinned or something?
No, she dark. But and I said the only thing that's different about us was we landed on different parts of the world.
Right. That's it.
That is the craziest thing, though. They were talking about. I was like, "Oh my goodness, dog." I mean, is it really? I mean, is it really like that for real, dog? Or is it just super chat money? Is it just a super chat topic? Is it or motherfuckers out there really feel that?
Make no mistake about it. O'Shea Jackson is running a business. Okay, don't even think he's just doing this for entertainment. That is a business he is running.
Okay.
That is a business.
You shouldn't even take that shit serious.
What's that?
I mean, I can't. I mean, get your money, black man. Get your money, black man. Okay.
Right.
I was like, I mean, I was kind of shocked to even see that topic. I was like, God damn, bro. Is that where we're at already, bro? Like black on black relationships is considered swirling, or we're not. I guess we're not black anymore. I guess that's what the thing is, man. Hey, coming from the Midwest, man. What was the biggest cultural differences, man, that you had with your Haitian wife, man, that you had to kind of deal with?
No, I guess like the kissing thing. Like when I saw her meet her aunts or whatever, they do the and I'm kind of I'm a germaphobe, so I don't do that stuff. But I kind of bit my tongue, just did it.
It's disrespectful if you don't kiss them.
Yeah. So yeah, I did it, because I had to, But my family was cool. They took me in pretty well.
Go force you to kiss.
So is your wife Americanized, or she?
So she was born in Haiti, and she came here when she was like 5. So I would say she's pretty American, but I mean, she speaks Creole. I mean, I know you got some Haitians who don't speak Creole, but she speaks that, and she's raised up.
Y'all Creole sound crazy as shit with that French, or is it English? But the French, when y'all speak Creole with French, that just sound crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's with the French.
Yeah, but yeah. So she grew up around a bunch of Haitians because there was a bunch of Haitians around where she was in Delray, South Florida.
Oh, you went to school in Jacksonville or something?
Me? No. I moved to Jacksonville. I moved to Florida about 2 years ago. Cause I served in the military in North Carolina, and I met her here in Jacksonville. And when I got out of the military, I moved here to Jacksonville, and
Oh, okay.
That's how I got here now.
She put the root on that nigga, man.
Hey, you let her make you spaghetti, huh? Don't let no Haitian little woman cook no spaghetti, man.
You know what's funny about that? The funny thing about this whole one of the ADOS arguments and shit like that. Like these niggas been arguing and talking about the state of black women and all that type of shit. And for the longest, and if you look at the black women that in this country that have all those traditional values that they that they want, it is usually people with a Caribbean or a African background.
Yeah, she's very traditional. So
yeah, all those traditional women that they sit there and complain about not having access to are usually of the Caribbean or African background, and now they're kind of, I mean, they're gonna have to be backtracking now, ain't they? Because you know what I'm saying, our culture, like, we're piggybacking off of them. We need to hold our own nuts. I wonder what the ADOS people think about that shit.
Oh, you talking about the state of women, or
the state of women? You know how they're always like, crying and talking about women and how they're not traditional and all this type of shit. And if you look at Black American women versus Caribbean women, most of the time, the women that they talk about that are ideal women are usually kind of Caribbean. I mean, have like a Caribbean attitude, or or traditional. I'm just kind of confused on what they're gonna say.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think the state of our women is mostly due to just the U.S. government, how they worked very overtime to break the black family.
Yeah, they put a number on black folks, man.
God damn, my phone, I mean, my freaking screen has been flicking for whatever, man. We've been on here for a little bit, man. I'm about to drop off.
Yeah, I'm about to go handle some business too, man. Like, but it was not talking to y'all, man.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Same here, bro.
Man, I'm gonna get the hell up out of this motherfucker. You ain't gotta go.
Yeah, but you got the government listen to you, bro. The government listening to you and shit. Wait, nah, that shit crazy.
They're trying to end me, man. Hey, man, thank you guys so much, man, for coming on there, man. Next week I'm gonna be on here again, man. And you guys welcome to join the panel. Anybody out there, man, you guys are welcome to join the panel. Even if you're ADOS, whatever, man. But you trolls, man. Well, thank you for trolling my page. You know what I'm saying? You white supremacists, thank you for coming in there and giving your input, man. I appreciate that. It's all is love, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all love, man. Holla at your boy. No Cupcake Zone, man. Make sure you guys like and share the stream, man. But anyways, man, thank you guys, fellas. Thank you again, fellas.
And I like to say, stop holding our coconuts.
Hold your own nuts.
Yeah, Tyreek in Jamaica right now. You need to hold his own coconuts.
That motherfuckers be heavy. Over there, coconuts are like big as fuck. But that shit is heavy as shit.
All right, fellas, y'all have a good one, man.
All right.